Oh, look! Here comes our fearless producer!
Gwynn Chris starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, everybody, it is finally a Friday, and welcome to it. Gwynn Chris on San Diego's #1 sports talk station, 97.3 The Fan. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. is down at Petco Park, where tonight the Padres will begin a homestand against the Tampa Bay Rays. Matt Skraby's alongside here in the Odyssey Palace studios. I got to tell you, right off the bat, guys, I am like in great spirits today. Maybe you can even sense it by listening to me, open up the show. But here's why.
They certainly can't see you, but they can definitely hear
I know.
you.
I'm trying to work on that.
Thank you, Tony. I was going to say, you're in such great spirits, you can't even get on camera.
I'm trying to work on that as I'm celebrating what a great mood I'm in. Here's the deal. We just, and I'm going to let everybody in on this, we just visited with Jose Iglesias, and you're going to get to hear the interview about 3:30 today. 3:40 we'll play it. Tony, you cannot visit with Jose Iglesias, as we just did, and not leave the interview feeling terrific about things. What a great guy. And he's like lifted my whole day, this guy.
He really did. Humility is the first word that comes to mind listening to him talk about the game of baseball. We got into some of his music stuff, of course. You guys will get a chance to hear, but he's definitely he fits this ball club and the type of makeup that these guys all have. He fits right in, and that was apparent just listening to him talk.
He is not only very wise as a veteran player, but his enthusiasm for life is infectious. So I'm really excited for you to get to hear this interview with Jose Iglesias a little bit later in the show. But we will tell you in advance that apparently, if you don't remember, he was the guy who wrote the song OMG to coincide with the Mets season last year. The song went all the way to #1 on the Billboard charts, like for real. Like it wasn't just, it was a for real song. But he said he's got Padre songs in the works as we speak. So something we can look forward to down the road. Is this OMG?
Oh my gosh.
When we started playing this, once he started, or once I knew he was going to be a Padre, I think I watched this video maybe 1,000 times, and I kept singing, "Oh my God," everywhere I walked. Everywhere, Chris.
I got to be honest with you. I don't have this in front of me, but I guarantee you there's some all-time Hall of Fame level music acts that have never had a not song on the Billboard charts.
For real.
You're probably,
And Jose Iglesias has now had one. So you never can tell.
Big leaguer. Not only just a big leaguer, but he's been in the league since 2011. So 14-year big leaguer.
Yeah.
And a charting, #1 charting album or record.
Yeah.
On the Billboard.
Incredible.
Not too many people can say that.
No, very few. Maybe zero.
Maybe he might be the only one.
I'm pretty sure he'd be the only one who can say it. Man, I really don't miss this interview a little after 3:30 today. Padres, get it going tonight against the Rays. Good to be back home. Michael King, good to, start a homestand with this guy on the mound, Tony. And, we'll wait to see if there's any news later in the day about any of these injured players. But I can tell you, having listened to the Ben and Woods program this morning, A.J. Preller did give an update on the likes of Jackson Merrill and the likes of Jake and everything. And it didn't sound like any of them are coming back on this homestand. So, it's going to be kind of business as usual right now for the Padres. You got to go out there. You got to play with what you have. And you have to find a way to get some wins, right? You got to, hang in and keep fighting. And, Michael King going to give you a pretty good chance to win tonight regardless.
That's right. I think ultimately, as I said the other day or yesterday and the day before, the onus is going to fall on the pitching. And it can't be lined up better that you get a guy like Michael King going today. You'll get Dylan Cease beyond that. And then Randy Vasquez, I assume, on Sunday. Those guys are going to have to hold the fort down. We have been blessed at the beginning of this season to not only have good starting pitching and good bullpen, but a terrific offense that was getting upwards of 10 hits for most of the games that they played. And then we got injured, right? And so that offense, although I'm sure the guys who are filling in are going to go try to put their best foot forward, it may not reach that level. And so the onus becomes on the pitching to kind of, hold it down and continue to throw the ball well to keep the score of the opponent down. And if they can do that, I have no doubt that the Padres will be fine. I'm out here today. It was like a mash unit, all on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
You had Lockridge, you had Merrill, you had Hayward, all out there. Merrill was running in a straight line. Saw Lockridge actually running the bases. So my guess would be that he's a little bit closer than Jackson is at this point.
Yeah.
But those guys they're doing what they have to do to try to get themselves ready.
Yeah. The one guy that AJ Preller did at least make me think maybe back sooner is Luis Arise, who's the 7-day injury list. I think stint would end on Sunday. Coming off that, collision, concussion, protocol and everything. Maybe we'll get Luis back on this homestand, but I don't know. Listening to AJ Preller, we'll play some of it later for you on our show, but it doesn't sound like the rest are going to be back. So that's what it is. And you got to go out and play with what you got. And we talked about this also, Tony. One thing that was very noticeable on the road trip, to me at least, without the full complement of roster, is that they were less aggressive on stealing bases. They only attempted 3 stolen bases on the whole road trip, and they were only successful once. So 1 steal in the last 6 games. And I think you pointed this out. What it means from Mike Schilt's perspective is we at this point can't afford to lose any base runners. And so maybe you're going to still steal a couple here and there, but I think you maybe you're more in a situation where you need to sit back. Hopefully you can get that first 3-run homer this weekend. One big blow like that could kind of break things open for this ball club. I hope.
However they need to get it. If it's a 3-run homer, great. If it's a double down the line, great. I don't care how they get it, just that they get it. I think when you got a unit that's beat up as the Padres do, whether it's we've gone through the guys, Hayward, Lockridge, Merrill, Arise. Those are 4
Hayward.
Those guys are all like valuable assets. Obviously, Jackson is what he is. Don't let me forget Jake too as well. And they all run the bases very well. And so you're missing 5 guys who run the bases well,
right?
And so you can't necessarily do it the same way you were doing it before. Right, because you don't have everybody out there, and so listen. I think they're still taking advantage of balls in the dirt. That's something that they
have been doing a good job there. Yes,
yeah. In terms of stealing, that might have to come down a little bit. But I think as they start to get healthy, you'll see it come up a little bit. I don't expect them to see them running, all year long. It's, as I told you guys yesterday, it's a toll on your body to consistently in terms of stolen bases, but they're going to keep running the bases. They've done that really well over the last, from the second half of the season all the way up to now. So it's just going to have to look a little different, really.
All right, Michael King does start tonight for the Padres. Tampa Bay going with Shane Baz. Baz? I think Baz. Right-hander. 6:40 the start.
Is it Baz or Baz? It's Baz, I think. Right?
Well, I don't know. Is Jesse there? He's our go-to.
I think it's Bays.
Bays?
He's over here just making up stuff now.
We've missed it all up. Anyway, Shane B-A-Z. You pronounce it how you wish until Jesse schools us. He's pitching for Tampa Bay tonight. 6:40 start to kick off a 3-game weekend. And it's an interesting homestand in the sense that there will be a little rest in this homestand. Monday's an off day. 2 days, 2 games against the Giants, and then next Thursday is an off day as well. Probably couldn't come at a better time in the sense that you are trying to get healthier. So a few days off here and there hopefully will help. Also, Kyle Hart became a victim, I think, of the upcoming schedule with the off days. He's sent down to AAA. Ryan Bergert is brought up to give the bullpen another arm. I don't think this is a knock necessarily on Kyle Hart. Tony, I think it's a matter of the schedule. He wouldn't have a turn in the rotation, so send him down to get a little more work.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been somebody like a Waldron or some one of those arms coming up, then it might read a little bit differently than what this one reads. This reads got a couple off days. We're gonna try to keep everybody on schedule, which means Hart probably is gonna be skipped. And so why instead of having him appear, why not have him go down and get those innings in? And if you need him back, you can call him back up.
Shane Boz. I looked it up. And I couldn't wait for
certainly
Justin.
wasn't Bays.
No, we knew that.
Yes,
we knew that.
I knew that too. I was
the
just
right-hander,
out another name.
Shane Boz from Houston, Texas. Originally, he'll be pitching tonight for Tampa. He's only 25 years young.
I was talking Kyle Hart. I find it kind of strange how it came about because this was posted last night on the Chihuahuas website, but I did not see any other San Diego Padre reporter reporting it. So I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but this morning I woke up and he was going to AAA. It was just kind of strange how it came about because it was put up online yesterday, but no one had confirmed it.
I'm sure whoever was running the El Paso thing wasn't supposed to put that up when they put
That's
it up.
what happened. Very good,
go.
Tony. You were aware, yeah.
Because I know we had fans last night like, hey,
Yes, we
guys,
did.
Kyle Hartz is going to AAA. And I'm like, it's not officially official yet.
Right. We were doing the draft show, and everybody wanted us to talk about Kyle Hart. Speaking of the draft, we will talk about this. We had an incredible night last night. If you weren't with us for the draft, Braden and one of our listeners started this. But, Tony, I don't know if you heard about this. We had a way to get all of the picks 3 minutes before the commissioner announced them last night.
What?
I'm not kidding you. We'll talk about it when we come back. It was crazy night for the NFL draft. We'll discuss and some more stuff as we get underway. Don't forget Jose Iglesias at 3:40 today. Don't miss that interview. Gwynn and Chris just getting started.
2:18 on the clock. Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Skraby. Padres in their City Connects tonight will take on the Tampa Bay Rays. We got to get back to the draft, though, because you guys kind of let us know that there was something that happened that I don't know that it does ever happens to us like this, where we are privy to get the actual pick before the commissioner said it.
I still don't understand.
Somehow that's you guys last night.
Well, we got to thank a caller or a listener named Jake. He started it. But what happened, Tony, was Skraby and I and Braden were doing the draft, as you know. And the first 4 or 5 picks, pretty much everybody knew who it was going to be. So nobody was really thinking about it. And then it came around to the 6th pick, I think. And we tried to guess who it was. And I think we missed on it or whatever it was. Anyway. 7th pick, we didn't know, we took some guesses. Skraby goes, "Why, this guy in the chat just got that right." And we're like, wow, pretty good.
And he posted it like well before the pick.
Right. He had posted it well before the pick. And he was
confident with it.
We just thought he was making a prediction and he got it right. When the 8th pick came, and I think it was Carolina took that wide receiver from Arizona, McMillan, and nobody expected it. But Skraby said, well, this guy predicted that also. And so we started trying to understand, is he in the Back to the Future time machine? What's going on here? How does he know this? He got the 9th pick correct as well. So we started, I think did you ask him, Skraby, how he was getting this or what happened?
I did, but Braden knows this person.
Okay,
Braden got the lowdown from them.
Okay, he got the lowdown. And Tony, Skraby, or you would have to explain this to me. They were going on Reddit, and evidently Reddit had a feed from insiders. It was the insiders that were tweeting out the picks before the commissioner, and Reddit was posting them 2 or 3 minutes before.
Reddit is so diabolical.
Incredibly, so Braden started following it the same way that our, Jake, the listener, had been following it. And so for the rest of the draft, we announced who the pick was. And then 2 minutes later, the commissioner confirmed it. And we got them all right.
No, I'm not sure. I thought about this a lot on the way home.
I've been thinking about it for the last 12 hours straight.
Yeah, Chris's mind is
I'm blown away by it. It exploded. Yeah,
it really did.
I don't get it.
I don't know if we necessarily ruined the draft for anyone, but thinking about it, maybe we shouldn't have been predicting everything before it happened.
Why not?
Why? It was only 3 minutes
because it's the drama of the commissioner coming up,
There was no drama for the commissioner last night.
Why? He walks up there, you're like, uh-oh, who's he going to pick? And then he says,
Tua Tagovailoa.
But you can't see him walking up on radio.
Yeah, you sure can.
So, people listening just wanted to hear who the draft choices were. And we were giving it to them before everybody else was getting it.
We definitely were. And so here's how I think it works. Reddit had like a stream of beat reporters for these teams. And so these reporters would tweet out who was being taken. And then Reddit would get it. And then we would get it through Reddit. And so it was because Chris was asking me before the show, how many people know before the actual pick is made? And I looked into it a little bit. The people who make the jerseys know, but there's also a lot of people in the backstage area that know as well.
Absolutely. They have to know.
Yeah. And so that's why I think it's not as crazy as it's crazy, but it's not as crazy as you may think because it's just people tweeting out before the commissioner actually gets to the stage.
I get it, but I thought it's
still crazy.
It blew me away the entire night. And it got to be, it got to be good to me, Tony. I was like, the 22nd pick is going to be, James Singleton. And then Skraby would get the commissioner. And the pick is James Singleton. I'm like, yeah, we know, commissioner. We
know, Goodell.
We're aware.
This is Chris all night. This is Chris all night.
I loved it. I was so excited.
Speaking, and I don't mean to bring it to a somber moment, but did you guys see the story? The Steelers passed on Shador. They took the lineman, the defensive tackle. Did you see that story on him today?
No, I did not. No.
So his mom had been pretty sick, and I guess before he got back to the hospital, she passed after he was drafted.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that. I saw it earlier today.
I didn't hear that.
I guess she had been kind of in bad shape prior, and I think he was going back to obviously celebrate that with her, and she passed away.
Ooh. So she didn't get to ever see him get picked, or
Well, she might have got to see him get
but
picked,
she didn't get to celebrate with him.
She didn't get to see him
Ah.
before she moved on.
That's a shame.
Well, I'm going to go home now.
In better news, Elijah Arenas, the young kid, Gilbert's son, who had that bad car accident, is out of the coma today.
Yes.
And is recovering. So
yes, thanks for updating that story for sure. The big news in the draft, though, was Shedeur Sanders. I mean, even though he wasn't drafted, they showed him on the television camera at least 100 times. And we'll talk about it a little more, I think, in the Big Five, because Skraby's got a question about it. But I think it's going to work out. I think he'll end up getting picked in the first pick tonight at 4:00. I would think Cleveland will take him. And, this might work out. I mean, we've had, supposedly great quarterbacks fall down the board in the past, and most of them end up being pretty good quarterbacks when it's all said and done. So I think that'll work out for him. But it was interesting.
Did you see Cam Ward got Warren Moon's approval to wear number 1 for the Titans?
And I wonder if the commissioner got Cam Ward's approval to announce him as Cameron Ward.
I'm assuming that
I would hope that he is the one that put that on.
I hope so too, but I haven't seen anything on this. But you're expecting the commissioner to walk up and go, "The first pick is Cam Ward," and he goes, "The first pick is Cameron Ward."
I would assume that
threw me for a moment.
Every player has to fill out a questionnaire. How would you like us to pronounce your name?
Well, I bet you Tua Tagovailoa didn't fill his questionnaire out the way
or
Goodell
he filled it out and they still couldn't.
Oh no, Goodell had no idea.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. All right, I have a rich moment for you guys. This one caught me by surprise, I must say.
Okay.
Rockets Brooks calls Draymond Green a dirty player.
Dylan the villain?
Dylan the villain.
Dylan the villain is calling Draymond a dirty player.
For sure.
You got to watch. Everybody's got to watch the rest of this series.
Listen,
there is going to be an absolute fight.
There's going to be
there
fight.
Has to
sure.
be, unless the officials, can tidy it up quickly.
At this point, it might be too late. They've already let 2 games go, and Butler's out of this next game 3. His contusion on his tailbone will keep him out of game 3. You got John Morant yesterday get in the midair. Dort slides under him. He lands on his hip. He's out for game 4.
Right.
I said this yesterday. I never thought I would say this. These referees have allowed for this to become a little too physical.
Yes.
Playoff. And I like playoff basketball because it's more physical. I think they've gone a little too far. I won't be surprised at all if there's actual fisticuffs in that Warriors-Houston.
In fact, if there's not, I think we're going to all be disappointed.
I mean, this is just a ploy, right? Because he knows that if he gets into Draymond's head, he could probably get him angry during the game and get him ejected.
There's no doubt that there's an element to this where they are turning it up and trying to force. Because here's the deal. The Rockets can move on without Dylan the villain. Golden State cannot move on if Draymond somehow gets suspended or has to miss time. That he's a far more important piece to that team than Dylan is to the Rockets.
But
so there's definitely an element in which I think they are goading him into trying to, do something crazy.
Does anybody though really think that Draymond Green at this point is going to fall for shenanigans from Dylan Brooks? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't either. I think, Draymond is crazy. He can lose it out there, but he's smart enough to know that he can't let Dylan, the villain, get the best of him.
Can't let him win. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun to watch the continuation of that. Your Lakers play tonight in Minnesota. So your attention will be diverted during the broadcast, if I know you, unless Dave is watching, Iranian soccer somewhere.
Which
I don't know if the Iranian soccer team is playing today, but that's the only chance it won't be on the TV behind me. So
right, yeah.
Let's slide away, get to break. Where are we going from here, Scrape?
When we get back, we have our countdown.
It's a very interesting countdown. We got to tell you about it,
and we also have a lineup.
All right, we'll do it all.
I need to write that down. All right, both Gwynn Chris on the inside.
On the Fan.
Plants. Crystal Geyser bottled at the spring source. We have our countdown coming up, and it's going to be an interesting one today.
First time we've ever done this, Chris.
First time we've ever tried this. We'll should I explain it and then do the lineup?
Yep.
We started recording the countdown just before the show, and because we were going to play it a little later, but anyway, we're using it now. We got number 5 and number 4 done, and then Jose Iglesias called in for his interview. So we didn't finish our countdown. So what we're going to do today, for the first time ever, Skraby's going to attempt this, and I think you ought to stay tuned to see if he can pull it off. He's going to play the tape of number 5 and number 4, and then he's going to try to seamlessly transition into live radio.
I have an idea
for the rest of the countdown.
I have an idea for that.
Can you do it, Skrabe?
Yes.
All right, we'll all find out, but first you got to give us a lineup for tonight's Padre home stand opener. Yes.
Batting first.
Homestand opener.
Homestand opener.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando Tatis Jr. playing right field. Batting second, Xander Bogaerts playing shortstop. Manny Machado batting third, playing third. Gavin Sheets cleaning up at first base. Oscar Gonzalez batting fifth, DHing. Jose Iglesias, our guy, second base, batting sixth. Tirso Ornelas making his Petco Park debut, batting seventh in left field. Diaz batting eighth.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not. Is it? It's Elias, right?
Elias.
Yes.
Elias.
See, Chris says Elias.
No,
You
I
guys
mess
say
it up.
Elias.
I mess it up. Believe me, it's Elias.
I don't know
Otherwise,
why
Tony
this
said.
name has thrown
It's
Chris and I
Elias.
for a loop, but
Yes,
it
we've
has
never
thrown
got
us
it.
for a loop.
Yeah, we've
It's
never
Elias.
gotten it.
Elias Diaz batting eighth, catching, and then Tyler Wade center field batting ninth. Michael King pitching.
All right. One interesting change: Bogarts goes from 4 to 2.
Mhm.
Sheets goes from 2 to 4. So something that Mike Schilt has obviously thought about and decided to make a change in that regard for at least tonight's game. All right, Skrabe, you ready to attempt this?
Yeah.
All right, it's going to be the beginnings of the countdown, and then without you even knowing it, we are going to seamlessly transition into a live second part of the countdown. Let's see how it works out.
It's now time for Gwynn and Chris to rank their top 5 of the day.
Gonna grip and rip as usual.
But this isn't just a regular top 5 list.
I love it. It sounds sadistic, but I love it.
This is the countdown. And it starts right now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, time for our weekly countdown. One of my favorite segments of the week, only because once we get to this stage of the countdown, that means we've come up with a topic. The topic, thinking of a topic, honestly, Skraby, Tony,
It's
it
not as hard
causes
for
me stress every Friday morning when I wake up. What are we going to count down today? But Skraby came up with a good one. So we have our topic. And now, once we have the topic, I kind of like the countdown. And today, we are going to do our best to improve the world of sports. And our countdown topic today, top 5 rules that we would like to see changed in pick whatever sport you want. Be baseball, football, anything else?
Hockey.
Volleyball. Maybe there's a rule in
Football?
volleyball you don't care for. Anyway, that's the topic today. That is our countdown.
Number 5.
And Skraby, because you came up
Oh,
with a topic, you get to
me.
go first.
All right.
What's your number 5 rule that you would change in sports?
It's an NFL rule, and I absolutely hate what they've done to the onside kick. I like the onside kick.
Yeah.
You
Put
have
it back,
to
you
announce
say.
an onside kick. You have to have certain conditions met to do an onside
That's
kick.
right. You can't do one in the third quarter anymore.
No, you have
even
to
if
be
you
behind
wanted
by
to.
a certain amount. There's got to be in what quarter and all this other stuff, but you have to announce it, which is the thing that takes away from the onside kick. If someone knows it's coming, it's going to be easy to recover the
Two
onside
of the
kick.
highlight moments in the Super Bowl history were surprise onside kicks.
Yeah, the
It's remembered
Saints,
forever.
Colts, Saints. Yep.
Yeah, the Saints thing, and the Steelers did it once to the Cowboys famously. So, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, that's my number 5.
Good one, Skraby.
Thank you.
Let's move on to Professor Tony Gwynn Jr.
Professor.
What do you
Oh,
got?
we're back to professor.
Yes,
again,
what do
huh?
you got? What do you got on this subject, sir?
Let's start with the must slide straight into second base rule.
That's so weird. I was thinking of this one. Go ahead.
Not a fan. I don't know that it really saved anybody. I mean, we can all thank Chase Utley and Tejada for Chase for going in as hard as he did, Tejada for doing a pirouette while trying to turn a double play, losing complete sight of where Chase was. He broke his leg. It wasn't that long after. I think it was the next year that they ended up taking that rule or applying that rule at second base.
So
double
you
play.
like the fact, Tony, that you could slide a little wide of the bag as long as you could still reach the bag and try to break up a double play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He I thought that that was something I had to learn how to do properly.
Right.
And when I mastered it, I thought it was such a helpful play, right? It's hard to turn 2 when you got to do like bearing down on you. And it also gave me a lot of respect for infielders because it was hard to get infielders. Like they were so good with their footwork.
Yes, they were.
That they would put you in a spot where you had to go through the bag, and everybody's ever slid over a bag. It's not the most comfortable thing. But the times that they left themselves out there, I remember getting Jerry Harrison Jr. real good one time.
Do you ever remind him of that?
Oh, all the time. All the time. But now I will say,
do.
when I took him out, he landed like his cleat landed on my finger. So I definitely had like a blood blister in my finger, but it was worth being able to tell him I flipped him after when he tried to turn a double play.
I think in general, in society in general, we overreact every single time somebody gets hurt. And I think that's one of them because double plays were turned for 100 years. And guys,
we're back to this.
Yes, because most of the guys survived it just fine.
Some of the best baseball card photos are of middle infielders airborne throwing the baseball, avoiding getting hit on a double play and still turning it.
That is true. I do like those pictures. I do like those pictures a lot.
I like that one, Tony. Very good. All right. My number 5 is also baseball related, but not nearly as cool as Tony's. I think they need to make a scoring change. And I think that when you give up an at-bat to move a runner over or a ground ball brings a runner in, you should be charged with an at-bat. The reason I say this, sacrifice fly, runner on third, you're not charged an at-bat. Well, with a runner on third, if you hit a ground ball and get the run in, you are charged with an at-bat. What's the difference? You got the run in.
Right.
Your job was to get the run in. You did it
because you can.
I can't wait to hear this explanation.
Because you could throw home instead and get that guy out. Instead of
going to throw home on a sac fly.
You can throw home on a sacrifice fly. If you don't hit it deep enough and they throw home, then you do get an at bat because it was a double play.
With the way you guys attacked me, I'm going to take myself out of it.
Take yourself out of it. Sacrifice flies are not at bats. Ground ball RBIs are at bats. That makes no sense. I also would consider giving you no at bat if you hit a fly ball to right field and move a runner from second to third. It's the same as bunting him to second to third, and you don't get an at bat for that. One last thing on this: everybody's batting average would go up, and nobody else would be hurt by this. So it'd be good for baseball. It's a positive thing for the offensive player.
Now I think you should get rewarded. I will say on the last one, at least you are giving yourself up with a sack butt. If you are swinging, I don't know if you can say that you're giving yourself up in terms of moving a guy from second to third.
Okay.
But I like the other idea, though, because it's no different. Me purposely rolling over a ball to second base to bring a guy in from third.
Yeah.
It's no different than swinging and hitting in the air.
Yeah, that's my thinking.
And getting a guy to sack and him tagging and scoring.
That's my thinking.
That's a good one.
All right, we're on to number 4. Skraby.
I'm going to baseball, and I absolutely hate it when a runner has to stop at third on a ground rule double. Hate it because I know it helps both sides.
He doesn't like this.
I know that it helps both sides depending on what side that you're on.
What did you say? I missed it.
If there's a runner in first and you hit a ground rule double, you have to stop at third, even if you would have scored.
Because most of the time that runner is going to score if you're going to be hitting a double anyway. So
bouncing over the fence, you have to stop at third.
And the reason for this is because in MLB The Show, I lost a lot of RBIs because of this whole thing. So I'm really upset.
Stop having warning track power then, bro.
That's a good point, Tony.
Either that or hit a sacrifice fly in your next at bat and bring him in.
No. This annoys me for no reason at all, but that's my number 4.
You'd clear that up. All right. Tony.
I think in the NFL, I think the corner should be able to rough you up longer than 5 yards.
Okay.
I think it should be moved to like 7 or 8 at least.
Well, because probably one receiver got hurt once because of this, and so they had to change it.
Back in the 40s, they never did this.
They didn't. They used to be able to
close. They still survived.
They did, and you could clothesline a receiver coming off the line of scrimmage if you wanted to.
I think they wanted more freedom of movement, I guess, for the wide receivers, but I think 5 yards is ridiculous. With the way the athlete is developed, I can only bump and run for 5 yards, and then I'm supposed
steps.
Right, that's basically 2 steps. Like, there's no way. Like, I just think it should be moved to 7, 8 yards. Then the corners would actually have, like, legitimate chance to stop these wide receivers.
It's already the hardest thing to do, I think, in sports.
Easily.
I think it's harder to do than hit a baseball, is cover a receiver who you don't know
who knows where
he's
he's going, and you don't know where he's
and
going.
you can't touch him.
And doesn't the
Right.
illegal contact give them an automatic first down too?
Right.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So if you touch him after 5 yards, it's illegal contact, and it's automatic first down. I think at the very least, it should be an automatic first down. Like, give you the 5-yard penalty. We move on.
All right. That's a good one. I didn't even think about that one.
Again, Tony wants a little more physical play, and I don't disagree with him.
Red Grange would be.
You know, you make fun of me on that, but you're absolutely correct. The game was, in a lot of ways, better.
I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't need to see someone die going over the middle anymore.
Yeah, I don't need to see that either.
But I did stand up and cheer it when I did see it back in the day.
You watched it, didn't you?
I did.
Okay, my number 4, again, much simpler than what you guys are coming up with. The NFL needs to make up its mind on overtime games and whether they really want ties in the regular season. And this 10-minute quarter that they have for the regular season, I think, is idiotic.
Didn't they just change it to that or something?
No, it's been 10 minutes
It's
the
been
whole. 10? Yeah. Now, in the postseason, this doesn't come into play because you play till somebody scores. In the regular season, though, if it's a tie, the first team gets the ball. They could drive 8 minutes down the field and miss a field goal. The other team may not even hardly get the ball because it's over in 10 minutes. Either extend the overtime period or just play it out till somebody wins. You tell us you don't want ties, but the rule is such that a tie is very possible.
Number 3.
And my number 3 is going to be when a batter is hit by a pitch while swinging. We talked about this the other day, and I was thinking about Luis Ariz when this happened, but I think it's very unfair that a batter gets hit but has to duck out of the way because the pitch is coming at him, and then they swing through the zone. That's why it ends up being a strike.
That's what I was going to say. The part you don't like is that if you swing, it's a strike instead of a hit by pitch.
Thank you.
Right.
That's where I'm going.
That's what you
with
don't
this.
like.
Yes, I don't like when someone has to recoil in fear and then gets plunked and then they strike out. So that's my number 3. Tony?
My number 3. Which way do I want to go here? My number 3 is hand checking. They should re-allow hand checking back into the NBA. I think
again, let defenders touch offensive players.
Just let them touch. You don't have to let them guide.
Right?
But let them touch it. Let them touch. Right? Because it's just impossible to stop these dudes if you can't even put a finger on them. You just can't.
It is kind of funny to watch Rudy Gobert on skates, though, trying to guard Luka.
Literally,
but he would be
ice.
able to. He'd have a chance if he could touch him. Yeah, everything's for the offense, right? They don't put any rules in for defense.
Nope.
All right, my number 3, baseball needs to go back to the unbalanced schedule. I can't stand the fact that the Dodgers aren't coming here until June. I think that teams should play more games in their division, and they can play less interleague games. I don't need to see the Royals every year. I don't need to see the Rays, even though they're here tonight. I'm happy to have them. But look, you can play the American League every 2 or 3 years. I'll be fine with it if it allows me to play the Dodgers and the Giants and the D-backs more often.
Okay.
Change that, baseball.
Number 2.
I'm going back to the NFL with my number 2. And Chris, you've talked about this many, many, many times.
Okay.
But it's when pass interference, it's a spot foul. So I agree that if you get taken down or if they pull your arms down or something, then yes, you should be given the spot. But if it's just legs tangling or just a little bit of hand checking, I hate the spot foul when it's nothing that is really that egregious. So I would like for them to maybe separate the pass interference penalties a little bit to make it maybe not fair, but
more equitable.
There we go. More equitable.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
Number 2 of mine was Chris's number 3, which is get rid of. You don't have to get rid of interleague play, but you got to get rid of everybody playing everybody.
Yes.
I just there's just not a need for it. Like, I think there are a bunch of unintended consequences by having, like, the All-Star game suffers because of it. I think The
World
whole
Series suffers a little bit.
I was just getting ready to say the World Series suffers because of it. That was always the cool thing. Like, I remember watching the Braves and the Blue Jays play in that World Series. Was that 92 or 93?
Yeah.
And, like, those teams just didn't come across each other. So, like, the matchup part and, like, the nerd part of me is, like, knowing what these staffs do now, like, how much work, like, homework they'd have to do to lock in on a series. And they probably do advanced stuff beforehand getting to that series. But, you know, you don't have a book on these guys. You haven't played it. There's been no need. And I always thought that made the World Series All-Star game more compelling. Guys on the field looked forward to those challenges because they hadn't seen these dudes before. Now you don't get that. And then to go with the latter part that Chris brought up, which is you got to play your division more. Or at the very least, at least put them in spots of the schedule where it's important. You know, playing in April or June, those are great. But if we're going to be limited on how much they're going to face each other, put them in spots where it's important.
Good one.
My number 2 is the one you stole from me to use as your number 2.
I stole it?
Yes, the NFL
stole it, boy.
The NFL pass interference rule is ludicrous. If you happen to, get tangled up, I don't like awarding the offense 60 yards. It's just too much.
Right.
And the officials can make the designation. And if you're worried about that, then be allowed to replay it and look at it if you need to.
You've already tried that, and they
all right,
banned that too.
Well, get it right. If you take a guy down, then it costs you 60 yards. But if you get tangled up, too severe of a penalty.
All right.
Number 1.
I want to make this quick. My number 1 penalty I wish they would actually call more: traveling in the NBA. There's no such thing as traveling
they're trying
in the NBA.
but they're not doing it yet.
I've been told since the day I was born that you can
You
only
don't
take
even
2
watch
steps.
the NBA, dude. Stop it. You don't even watch the NBA. So how do you know?
Fair point, Tony.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I think you got you on that
Fair
one.
point.
Got you on
Number
that
2, or my number 1
Oh, yeah, your number 1, yeah.
is an actual definition for what is a balk.
Ooh.
No one knows.
No one knows. No, because it's the rule is if you're deceiving a runner. That's literally what they're trying to do every single time. So you call a balk every single time. So clearly that's not it. So let's come up with a rule for what a balk actually is.
All right.
I'm kind of glad we're almost out of time because I can hear the soccer fans screaming from the heavens on this one.
Uh-oh.
And I don't have a good alternative to this, but get rid of offsides in soccer. Open up the game. Let us score some more goals.
What? You can't do that.
You would not respect soccer at all.
I would love it because
they're just sitting down at the other end of the goal.
You always think that, but I don't. They thought that in hockey when they took out the red line that players would go cherry pick at the other end of the ice, and it doesn't happen. Give it a try.
Smaller.
Give it a try. Soccer.
Change the fabric of the game and
change
give it a
try. Look, I'm telling you, the soccer people hate me right now, and I get it. But no more offsides.
That's not how they did it in the olden days.
Well, it's time to.
Red Grange would have called it. We gotta go.
All right.
Daily Gambit next.
A Friday broadcast, a Friar Friday. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. Tony will be in and out a little bit the rest of the way as he prepares for tonight's broadcast. Padres taking on the Tampa Bay, formerly Devil Rays.
I like that name better.
Devil Rays?
Yeah.
I kind of did. They took it out because they didn't like the reference to the word devil, but I believe that is the name of the animal. It's a devil ray, right?
Yeah. I mean, do they still have the New Jersey Devils?
They do. But,
Duke Blue Devils?
Duke Blue Devils are still in there.
You know what? Should I go on old man rant now?
You don't have to. I think we all know this rant.
The rant is we don't need to take everything so seriously.
You're exactly right. And if we are going to take it seriously, right? If we're going to do it, then do it.
Yes.
No Redskins. Fine.
Yeah.
Then don't let me have the Chiefs
or the Vikings.
And Vikings were horrible people.
They were maybe the worst out of them all.
They raped and pillaged.
Yes.
That's all they did.
49ers were bad people too.
Well, okay, but Blackhawks. See you later. The logo was an Indian face. The Blackhawks still and always has been one of the most famous logos in hockey. That's the thing. If you're going to do it, do it. But the reason you don't is because we can live with it. And I shouldn't be saying it because I know there's people out there who say, well, you're not walking in my shoes. Yeah. And I do take it personally. Well, I say to you, don't take it so personally because it's really not meant to be derogatory.
Yeah.
It just isn't. Right? The Cleveland Indians is not meant to be derogatory.
Yeah.
I get that people take it that way, so they made the change. Fine. All right, we did enough on that because we've gone through this 100 times.
Yeah.
And we can only get ourselves into trouble with, somebody out there.
It's very true.
Somebody out there can be upset.
Very true.
Okay, we got our daily gambit coming up here. Some good games coming up tonight. Tony mentioned this, but I gotta refer to it again. Dylan Brooks, the dirtiest player in the NBA, calling Draymond Green dirty is hilarious. It adds a little intrigue, though, to the rest of that series.
Is he really the dirty? Because Draymond Green's pretty dirty.
Yeah, they're both dirty, but I don't think one should be calling out the other.
I like what he's doing here. I know exactly what he's doing here, and it's probably going to work.
With Memphis 3 years ago, Brooks took out the Warriors' Gary Payton and fractured his elbow. So the Warriors remember what Dylan Brooks is capable of doing. I think Brooks is more of a This is a bad connotation. I don't want to use this one.
Okay. Abort.
I guess he's just a dirty player. I don't want to use the word. Draymond Green to me is somebody who's always trying to get away with a little something extra. So I think there's a slight difference. Green's hoping to do something sneaky to give himself an advantage. Brooks, I think a lot of times is trying to hurt people. So I see a difference. I see a difference in the two guys.
That's a difference.
There's one more NBA note. There's a nice little war of the words going here between Miami and Cleveland. Cleveland's Darius Garland was asked about beating Miami in the first two games. He goes, well, all we have to do is pick on Tyler Hero. Take care of the ball and go after their weak defenders.
Not smart.
Tyler Hero came back today and said something interesting to hear him say that because he doesn't play any defense at all. And we'll see that in game 3. He don't play no D. That's a Hero said about Garland.
That wasn't you saying that.
No, Garland said, Hero doesn't play good defense. Hero said Garland doesn't.
You know what I'm hearing
this
from
is
a lot
fun,
of NBA
though.
players?
I like this NBA. It's kind of WWE. It's entertaining to me. It makes me want to tune in.
You know what I'm hearing from NBA players, though? Doesn't seem like anyone plays defense because they keep calling each other out for not playing defense.
It's, as Tony pointed out in his rule change, it's hard to play defense.
It is.
Can't touch anybody.
It is hard.
All right.
You're also a pro.
Let's go. Yeah, I agree. Let's go to the Daily Gambit, see what's in store there for us.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo!
If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
Daily Gambit is our daily sports betting segment here on Gwynn and Chris. Please, everybody, gamble responsibly. Chris, the New Jersey Devils, someone on the chat, Death by Palm Tree, said the New Jersey Devil is a mythical creature, which I did know. It's like something. It's like a legend of sorts. Of like it's a cryptid. I think they call
I don't
it.
know. A devil ray swims around in the ocean, so I don't have any issues with that. But apparently, enough people did that they changed it.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, we'll
right.
move on
Yeah.
now. NFL draft starts at 4 p.m., so we will
I mean,
get to that.
Shador
in
is
just a
about an
second.
hour. I think Shador is less than an hour away from finally being picked. We'll see.
Man, if
At
he's
4
not,
o'clock.
if he's not,
If the Browns pass on him at 1 and 4, because they got the two of the top 4 picks in the second round, then you got a story. If he slides past that, so
all right, we have a Big Five question about that as well. First bet we made yesterday: Knicks minus 1.5 at the Pistons. Chris and I chose the Knicks. Tony chose the Pistons. Knicks did win 118-116, so we win, Chris. There.
Very weird ending to this game.
Didn't see it.
Knicks were up by 2, half a second to go. Brunson was told by Thibodeau, the coach, to intentionally miss the free throw.
Okay.
Cleveland had no timeouts, or
okay.
Detroit had no timeouts. You miss the ball, they have to chase it down and heave it the length of the floor. Impossible to do. Anyway, as he shot the ball to miss it, the final buzzer went off before the clock should have gone off. Referees got together, decided to put a half second back on the clock and give the ball to the Pistons and let them throw it in. Well, that wrecked everything the Knicks had been trying to do by intentionally miss the free throw. The Knicks were livid. Fortunately, they threw it in and didn't score, but it was kind of an interesting finish.
Kind of interesting.
And I can only imagine if the Pistons had won the game, Thibodeau would have had a heart attack.
Yes, Thibodeau would.
One of the happiest men in sports, Tom Thibodeau.
He definitely smiles a lot.
Never.
OKC minus 9.5 at Memphis last night. Tony and I chose Memphis. OKC won, but they only won by 6.
Did you hear what happened in this game?
I didn't see much basketball last night.
Yeah,
This
was the second largest comeback in NBA playoff history.
Yes, I did hear about that.
Oklahoma City was down by 29 points.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Came back to win by 6. Part of the reason was John Morant got injured in the second quarter, and he is out for game 4. So that's pretty much the season for Memphis.
All right. Denver at the Clippers. Clippers were 5.5-point favorites in this one. We all chose the Clippers, and we were all very correct. I didn't even do the math on this, Chris.
34 points, I believe.
It was 117-83.
Yeah, big win for the Clippers.
SGA. Who had more points? SGA minus 3 or Jalen Brunson straight up? SGA at 31. Take away that 3, 28. Even I can do that.
Okay.
Jalen Brunson, 30.
Oh, close one. Brunson
SGA, you
wins it.
chose SGA.
Yeah.
Tony and I chose Brunson. I'm 4-0 today.
Hey, very good.
KC Royals minus 1.5 on the run line at the Rockies.
Not at the Rockies, but either way.
Rockies, yes, you're
Yeah.
right. There was a doubleheader yesterday. We all chose the Royals. Take your pick on which Rockies loss
They
you
won
want to go
both of
with.
them, yeah.
Because 7-4 and 6-2. So we won both bets if we needed to.
Right.
Burns over under.
That might be the bet of the year, because if they're going to keep making the Rockies only a 1.5 run underdog, it
It's gonna
just
change
seems
at
like
some point.
easy money.
It has to change at some point.
They lose every game, so why not take advantage of it?
Corbin Burns over under 5.5 strikeouts last night. Chris and I went over. Tony went under, and he was over. He had 8.
You're 6-0.
I'm 6-0.
Wow, you could have made some moolah last
Now here's
night.
where it all ends.
Uh-oh.
Who scored more total goals in their game? Vegas at Minnesota or Winnipeg at St. Louis? You chose Winnipeg and St. Louis. I chose Vegas and Minnesota. And Vegas and Minnesota was 5-2. Minnesota won, so 7 total goals. Winnipeg at St. Louis. St. Louis won 7-2, so that's 9 total goals.
All right, well, 6-1, still a good day. for you. But knowing you would have done a 17 parlay and walked away with nothing.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's what you'd like to do.
Yeah, I would definitely make these all part of my parlay, and then the last one wouldn't hit for sure.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
All right, we'll make our picks in a couple seconds here. Cubs are leading the Phillies, the only day baseball. They had a rain delay, but now they're underway. 3-0 Cubs, top of the fifth. If the Phillies lose a couple more, there's going to be panic in the streets of Philadelphia.
Not John Kruk, though.
Not John Kruk. He knows there's plenty of time left. But anyway, Phillies are down again. A couple of rainouts. Baltimore, Detroit rained out. Boston, Cleveland rained out.
I did not know that.
So put that into your note column there. New York Mets will get not only Jeff McNeil back today, second baseman, but catcher Francisco Alvarez also activated from the injury list. The Mets are already doing pretty well.
Yeah.
They've won 8 in a row, and now they have 2 of their better guys back in the lineup. So the Mets are in Washington, D.C. tonight. By the way, we know the Padres are home to the Rays. Just so you're aware, Dodgers are home to the Pirates tonight, but Paul Skeens is pitching, so maybe we get a little help there from the Bucks.
They play. I was trying to think about this on the drive down. When did they go play the Pirates? The first, I think it's May 2nd is when
Who's
they
this, the
start.
Padres?
Yeah, the Padres.
You're trying to figure out whether they'll see Skeens?
Yeah, and then
They didn't see him last year at all, did
no,
they?
and they played back-to-back weeks, and
He
so they
missed
avoided it.
He missed them both times.
We need Jackson Merrill to come back for that showdown.
Okay. Giants are also home tonight to Texas, keeping an eye on the other NL West contenders. Let's take a break. We'll make our picks on tonight's NBA games and the rest of it as Gwynn and Chris continues. Don't forget, if I do say so myself, a great interview with Jose Iglesias coming up at the bottom of the hour. You need to meet this guy, and we'll have it for you soon. So don't go too far. Traffic is now.
From the 855.
Gwynn Chris continues here. 3:19 is the time. Jose Iglesias really put me in a good mood. And you'll hear that interview coming up.
Chris
at the
was
bottom
just
of the
walking the
hour.
hallway, and I hear, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "Is that Chris?"
That's me. That's me. Jose Iglesias.
It's so catchy.
I love the fact that he says he's already got a band and he's working on the Padres song. Like he's already.
Don't give that away.
Oh, well, it'll be in the interview. You'll get more details in the interview. All right, we're going to get to our picks. Before that, quick trivia. What does Ivan Herrera and Jordan Beck have in common?
I don't
Do you even know who either of those guys are?
No.
You don't?
No.
Well, you got to start paying attention if you're going to win your fantasy league again. Both are baseball players. They are both they're the only two players this year who have had 3 home run days in Major League Baseball. Ivan Herrera hit 3 for the Cardinals earlier this season. Jordan Beck hit 3 yesterday in the doubleheader for the Rockies. 1 in one game, 2 in the next.
How does it count?
Well, it's counting for this particular trivia question. All right, let's go into the daily.
Does not count in 2 different games.
Well, he had a 3 home run day in the.
There we go. I can get
yes,
behind
he
that.
did.
Yes.
All right, Minnesota Lakers tonight, Game 3 in Minnesota. Got the Wolves favored by 3.5. Did the Lakers figure it all out in Game 2, or do the Wolves come right back with another monster shooting performance and bench performance like they had in Game 1? Tough, I say. Who do you got?
Minnesota
for you. I'm going to go Lakers tonight. I think the Lakers take the lead in the series. 207.5 points. Same game.
That's kind of low.
207.5. It's low, but it is the playoffs. These games have been much more lower scoring. There's teams play a little defense to at least keep the other team from exploding up and down the floor. There's not as many possessions in a playoff game. That's why the scores are lower. At least
Are you going over or under?
I was going to do a little research, but I don't have time.
I'm going to go under.
I'm going to go over and say it's too low. You go under. Boston -5 at Orlando. Jason Tatum should be back. By the way, remember the other day that Boston was favored by 10.5?
Yeah.
Then we told you that Tatum was out. And I said you should bet the 10.5 before it goes lower. And the 10.5 ended up being what you needed because Boston won by 9.
That's true.
So that little knowledge may have helped you. What about tonight, Skraby? Boston -5 on the road.
I'm going to go with my guy Banchero again.
The
Go with the Magic.
I like the Magic. I'm going to root for the Magic, but Boston is money on the road. They win. Milwaukee -5.5 over Indiana. That's in Milwaukee, and that's why Milwaukee wins this. Indiana's a home squad only.
You know, I will go with Milwaukee as well, but
Okay.
remember when they fired that coach for Doc Rivers? It hasn't gotten better.
No, Doc Rivers is a big name that hasn't really done a lot. Like he goes everywhere and he kind of makes them a little better, but it doesn't lead to much. He's coached every team in the NBA.
I know, but I just don't understand sometimes these decisions that
Why
are
he
made.
keeps getting chances?
Well, not him, just him. It's just like you bring him in. Also, why can't isn't Giannis a guy who's supposed to carry a team? Like, I don't know. That I'm not so angry about. What's our next bet?
He did win the NBA title in 2008 with the Celtics. Doc
Okay.
Rivers. But he's had a lot of other really good
Yeah.
teams that haven't won the title.
Yeah.
Giannis -3 or Luka points tonight. Giannis is at home. Luka's on the road.
I'm going Luka.
Going Luka anyway. Giannis at home goes crazy. But I like Luka now. I'm more of a Luka player fan than I was before he got to the Lakers.
Wow.
He's got a lot of moves.
That is interesting.
All right, here's our gimme. We put this in the middle to make us feel better. Reds -1 at the Rockies.
Not even 1.5?
I'm sorry, 1.5.
Oh, I was going to say.
I'll take the Reds until further notice. The Rockies are 4-20. They are pathetic.
I saw That was just funny.
Right?
I saw an article title on when I was looking for news this morning, and it was from the Denver newspaper. I can't remember
Denver
what it was.
Post.
Yes, and it said Rockies light up the L column, which I thought for some reason was really funny.
That's what they're doing. They are on pace for 27 victories right now, the Rockies. Not even close to the all-time worst of 40.
I'm going to go with the Reds.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, the Rockies aren't going to win the game, so the only way you can lose the bet is if it's a one-run game. It's almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Padres Rays 7 runs tonight, over under. Not very many, but then Michael King is on the hill. Who do you like here?
And Boz is the other guy?
Yes, Boz. We started with Baz, and we've got it correct now. Shane Boz for Tampa Bay. 7
how can I
runs.
expect the Padres to score more than 4 runs with this lineup?
Yeah, you can.
I'm going to go under.
I think under is the way to go as well. I mean, the Padres are not scoring with this lineup. And until they hit a 3-run homer, it's going to be trouble. All right, here's one for you, Skraby. Who gets more strikeouts tonight? Michael King versus the Rays or Paul Skeens in L.A.?
The Dodgers have been striking out a lot.
I'm going to go with Skeens. Seems like he's automatic, but so does Michael King at home. He just racks up the strikeouts. I'm going to go Michael King here in a surprise. What about you?
Oh, man.
I know you love Paul Skeens. You like to support him as much as you can.
I mean, I love Michael King.
I know you do, but you're a bigger Paul
I
Skeens
think
fan.
Skeens pitching on a Friday night against the Dodgers
It's on MLB Network.
in his hometown almost. I'm going with Skeens.
Going with Skeens. By the way, Padre fans, looking ahead to the next road trip.
We did look at this.
We looked at this for you. Padres are playing on the next road trip. One of the teams are playing is the Pirates.
Yeah, they go to Pittsburgh, then the Yankees, then the Rockies.
All right, so the first team on the road trip is the Pirates.
Yes.
According to the way the schedule is right now, the Padres will miss Paul Skeens again. They didn't face him either time they played the Pirates last year.
They did not.
And apparently they're going to miss him again next weekend. If it holds up, you never know. A change could be made here and there, a rain out. But as the schedule is now, they won't see Paul Skeens again.
Old Skeensy just ducking the Padres.
You want Skeens.
I want to see it.
Well, you want to see Merrill healthy against Skeens.
I
That's
don't
what
even
you
care
want.
about that. I've watched some Paul Skeens starts, and he's a fun pitcher to watch. He is. Again, the media coverage of him is nauseating.
That's what you don't like.
Yes. Nauseating.
One more tonight, hockey, Edmonton. We're going to talk about this game in the Big Five because TNT is doing something that I am really upset about.
Yes.
But anyway, Edmonton home to the Kings tonight at the Northlands Coliseum. I think that's always been a great name. It's not that called anymore because it's sponsored. But I always thought that was a great name for where Edmonton is.
Okay.
It's as far north about as you can go. And they're favored by 1.5. But the Kings won the first 2 games. Skraby, what do you think tonight?
I got to go with my Oilers.
Going with the oil. Kings, I don't see them going up 3-0 either.
Oilers.
I'll take the oil. All right, there's our picks for tonight. Get you ready for it's a good night. It's a good weekend. You got the NFL draft, right? I think we had so much fun last night. We'll talk a little more about it when we get some time here, but on the show. Braden did great.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is smart on that stuff, and I give him a lot of credit. He had a lot of research. But we had fun doing the draft. But after the first round, you kind of have to be a draft Nick at this point, right?
I could go second.
You could go
third
second.
round. The rest of it.
Do you know any of the players in the second round?
Second round, yes. Third round is where it gets fuzzy.
Okay.
But I like to watch the other rounds just to see who's being picked and see maybe there's a fantasy player I might like.
I got to hand it to these people on the NFL Network by Saturday in the 6th round, and they're still in there hustling.
Yes, I do.
Like, really? All right, we'll take a break here. We've got Jose Iglesias. Don't miss it. If you're going somewhere, stop and don't get there yet. Now, I want you to hear this interview. It's coming up next.
Don't get there yet.
Ben and Wood.
The word he used was bonanza.
I did say bonanza.
It's not Gunsmoke,
No.
but bonanza. Sorry, Kirk Kenny.
He was like,
Kirk,
what? Bonanza?
Kirk got excited for a minute. We're going to give away 3 pair of tickets during that hour to see the music group Heart.
In each segment.
Right.
Now we got to remember, Chris.
I know. We got to remember to do it. We'll have our Chris versus a fan segment. You'll win a Heart tickets in that. And then the other 2 segments in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to give away Hearts tickets. So stick around. Jose Iglesias is coming up shortly. I looked this up because we talked about it early in the show. And you may not remember this. We'll talk about it with Jose in a minute. But his song last year, when he was with the Mets, called OMG.
Mm-hmm.
And it became kind of the Mets anthem last year. Going to play a little piece
I'm
of it
getting
here?
it right now.
You're looking for it?
I'm getting it.
Here's some OMG. Now, this was Jose Iglesias.
Yeah, and his music video is pretty
His
awesome.
song, he got the video, he wrote it, he was singing it. There he goes. All right.
You know, there's a little bit of a connection between Tony and Jose Iglesias' singing career that we found out during the interview.
Yes, you'll hear that as well. But Jose Iglesias, with that song, this is what you may not know, went to number 1 on the Billboard charts.
Are we talking Latin charts? Or are we talking
No.
U.S. charts?
Number 1 on the Billboard charts, U.S.
Wow, those Mets fans really did.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Number one, first week of July last year. So I looked up some of the groups or artists that have never had a number one song. How about Bruce Springsteen? Jose Iglesias has accomplished something in music that even the boss could not do.
When you told me that earlier, I was shocked.
Shocking.
He can't be called the boss if you never got number one.
Jose Iglesias has number one. Some of the others, Pat Benatar, CCR, Bob Dylan, Sheryl Crow, Backstreet Boys, One Direction. None of them have ever had a number one song, but Jose Iglesias has. And I think when you listen to this interview, you're going to kind of get an understanding why this guy is has such a great love for life.
He does.
And he's in his wisdom.
Yeah.
This is what got me, geeked up after talking to him. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our visit with Jose Iglesias right after we check traffic.
Ooh.
Oh, no. Such a good intro there,
it was,
too.
And I thought it switched, but I didn't see it switch. What
do you want to do?
I want people to get their traffic.
I know. They need their traffic.
You know
Friday,
what we're
going to
do is, there it is. Here's some traffic.
Oh, good.
And thank goodness it came through.
Yes.
Jose Iglesias on the other side.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few problems here, guys. One was this crash on southbound 15 before El Cajon Boulevard. Looks like that one's over to the right shoulder. Also traveling on South 163 near the 805. Accident involving several vehicles. They're managing to put that over the right shoulder. And traveling on the South High coastline just before Las Pulgas, there is a collision. A couple vehicles in the center divide. Eastbound 78 before Broadway. Collision involving a couple vehicles. That one's got the left lane blocked. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And our Friday interview, indeed, Jose Iglesias, the Padres do everything, infielder, outfielder, and man, what a pickup he has been for this ball club in early this season. Jose, welcome to San Diego. If you haven't already been welcomed, and talk about how this has been working out for you so far.
Thank you for having me, guys. No, it's been an incredible experience. Contribute to this great team that we had. It's a privilege to be up there with the boys and just help this team, accomplish something that we have in mind, and that's going all the way down.
Jose, we marvel often at your glove work, man. It's like you're like a magician out there when it comes to the glove. Has that always been a skill set that it has come naturally to you? Because it really does look like you wake up and you can do some of the things with the glove that a lot of people can't.
Thank you, Dan, for the compliment. There is definitely a natural element to it, since I was a little kid, but also there is a lot of work behind it as well. In terms of repetition. When I was younger, I was taking, I remember, thousands of ground balls a day. So,
wow.
There's reputation. Definitely, there is sacrifice and discipline behind the natural ability that any player at this level had but thank you for the compliment. So yeah, it's I don't want to say it's easy, but it's pretty organic for me to go up there and do my thing with the glove.
Jose Iglesias is our Friday interview. Speaking of that, Jose, you made a play in Detroit. I think the second game of the series, but it was a pop-up into short right center field. You turned around and ran with your back to home plate. You caught the ball as if you were taking a walk in the park. I don't understand. The ball just dropped into your glove, which was next to your left hip. Did you have that all the way, or can you be honest with us and say there was any luck involved? It looked like the most amazing thing I've seen all year.
Thank you. That's I've done that play. I've done that play before, and I did not want to turn my back into the plate, but the ball beat me, and I was like, "This is my only shot." So I turned around and just make a basket play. Those type of plays is you got to stay calm, right? You have two
Yeah.
big boys heading to you. You have center field to coming to the left and right field coming to the right. Gonzalez, a big boy, so I got lucky he didn't hit me. And but I just in those type of play, you got to stay calm, right? You got to stay under control. Always keep the ball in front of you when you turn your back to the plate. That's the secret, and just stay calm. And it's harder than what it sounds like, but you got to be calm in those plays.
Jose Iglesias joins us here on Gwynn and Chris Friday. And Jose, I've watched your whole career, and it seems like you've gotten better offensively as you've gotten older. What do you attribute that to? Because in a day and age where it seems like they're running out they're moving the older guys out of the game, you found a way to seemingly get better offensively as you've played more baseball.
Well, I think that with age, you understand a lot of aspects, not just about the game, but about yourself as well. And that happens for every regular human being there is in this planet. I think with age, you start realizing who you are, who you try to be, what your goal is going to look like, how do you want to accomplish it. And for me, it's been, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not trying to be someone else. This is who I am, and I'm going to maximize my ability to do who I am, and I'm gonna enjoy it that way. So, and I think it's paying off. The last 5 years and 5, 6, 7 years, and in the league, it's been paying off. So I'm not trying to be someone else and try to, be someone that I'm not. Stick with my game, and I try to maximize my ability to put the ball in play, not strike out, and good things happen. I'm a big believer in put the ball in play. And there's this in last year in the playoffs. That's the teams that make things happen. When you put the ball in play, it's tough to make plays, right? Especially when you have that pressure of 40,000 people screaming at you, and it's just there is no hit, there is no win if you don't hit the ball forward. So for me, hit the ball forward, and it's the secret. So definitely experience, right? I already have quite a few at bats in the league, and that definitely helps. Some advisors, it's a grinding thing. It's an adjustment make on a daily basis. The game has changed analytic wise, information wise, so you got to adjust to it. And I think I was a player who came up with and I don't want to say old school, but with the different mindset of hitting and a different mindset of the game. And in order for me to stay in today's game, I have to adjust. And then that's what I've been doing in the last few years since 2015 is just continue to learn, continue to, be open for the change. And I think, not losing my DNA as a hitter, but definitely collecting information that there's value and translate that to a winning ball, to a winning team, to a winning game every night.
I don't understand how Jose Iglesias was still available for the Padres to get him, honestly, in the free agent process. I don't. I mean, you were so great last year for the Mets. Everybody saw it. You were the heartbeat of the entire team. You hit 337. You came up with OMG. You took the whole Big Apple by storm. And now we've got you. We're lucky to have you in San Diego. I have to ask you, do you have anything in mind along the lines of OMG for San Diego? Is your mind thinking about that yet?
Listen, we're going to have fun. We had a good team. That's the secret. We got to have fun. We got to stay healthy. At this level, the team who has fun and the team who stay connect and communicate and stay healthy, those are the ones that are going all the way down because the talent is there. So for sure, we're going to have fun here. We're going to take it one day at a time. We're going to maximize our ability as a team, but also we're going to stay together. We're going to have fun with the fans and the city and for the game of baseball. That's the goal. You gotta treat it one day at a time. So good things coming in the music aspect as well. When the time is right, you're going to hear about it. And and then we're going to have fun to it too. Back to the Padres, me being available to come back here, I think to come here, it's meant to be. Sometimes things are totally out of your control, and that was one of them for me. I was kind of shocked as well, how they not came back, but you know what? Everything happened for a reason, and I couldn't be happier. To coming here to San Diego, the team that we faced last year, and it was a great great contender for us last year. And we played big games last year against the Padres. And it's different to be in the home side. I love to be in this side of the field, playing with this great team and great players that we had. I'm extremely happy to be available for the Padres. It took a little longer than I was expecting, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm here, and I'm extremely happy, and it feels like home.
Jose, I got to ask, maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago, I hosted a talent show for the American Lung Association. And yourself, Kenley Jansen, ended up being the 2 finalists. He played a ballad on the piano. You performed a song. Now, this is long before OMG happened. You ended up winning this. You ended up winning this talent show.
Oh, sorry about it.
at that point,
I remember. I think that was 2021.
I think it was a year after the COVID season. Yeah, I think it was 21.
It was 21. At that point, I was with the Angels.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. At that point, did you know that music obviously was something that was deep in your soul? Did you know that it would transpire into being an OMG, a top Billboard song? I mean, was that something that was always in you?
You never know what life is gonna bring. I mean, we here. We got to take it one day at a time, right? We not even know if we're gonna be alive tomorrow. We hope we are, but
yeah.
So with time and age, you gotta take it just 1 minute, 1 second, one day at a time. Don't take anything for granted. Maximize, just the fact that you're alive. And I didn't know. I always been in love with music. But publicly, I was at some point in my career, I was like, you know what, I gotta be who I am.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna respect the game. I'm gonna do everything right on, between the white lines, and I'm gonna, do everything with respect and everything. But I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna, there's players that have a lot of dreams in their head and their book, and they're just being afraid of for that first step to break the barriers and stuff like that. And I'm glad I was that guy. Who sings on the baseball field, and then when you see the fan base and you see your teammates, looking at you in that particular way, beyond a baseball field, it's quite a blessing. It's quite a humbling. They're looking at you not just as a good player, but also as an artist. It's kind of cool. I can see some of the players feel proud about it, and that's the whole thing about it. I'm extremely humbly. I'm extremely happy, to contribute to that aspect for the game, and it's a dream come true. It is. I was nervous at the beginning. I was like, how baseball's gonna take it? It's a very thin line. You know what I'm saying? I hope they don't misunderstand that I love music, and the music lives in all of us.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this is a game. It's our job, but this is just a game, and we have fans who want to have fun, and like I say, we do everything with respect. We do everything with nothing that can affect your daily routine, to prepare to win a big league game. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have fun. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep it loose. It's a long season, boys. It's a long season, and then we gotta stay happy. We gotta stay happy. We gotta stay alive, and that's music. Music is life, and keep a lot of people connected.
Words of wisdom from Jose Iglesias there, who last July 9th had the #1 song on the Billboard charts. And we expect nothing less this July with the Padres, Jose. So start working on it.
Oh, come on, baby. Hey, the ceiling is high, but we're gonna climb it, baby. We're gonna climb it one day at a time. We're gonna get there. We have great collabs coming.
Okay.
And one is with the it's a big Mexican band, and the song is I'm in love with that song, and we're gonna release it this year. And
hey, it's already in the works then. Beautiful.
Yep, we have some good songs coming out, and hopefully when we clinch, we're gonna be celebrating together. We know with the greatest fans, these Padres fans are magnificent. They back us up each and every night, and so we're gonna be here, hopefully right behind center field. I see a stage from here, and we're gonna be there. We're gonna be celebrating, and when you make the playoff, I don't like it. I don't like to take it for granted. We're gonna enjoy it, but to get there, we gotta win today. Take it one day at a time, one pitch at a time, one inning at a time, and then we'll be fine.
Jose, loved visiting with you, and look
Awesome.
forward to more this season. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you guys for having me. God bless you all.
All right, now everybody feels in a better mood, like we did earlier after we interviewed Jose Iglesias.
SD Egg said, "Thanks, Elo. I was driving home, as you said. Make sure to listen. I listened on YouTube when I got home. Great interview, motivating."
Thank you so much. He was great, and he's a fun-loving guy. He's got the music in the works, so everybody get ready for something to be released here.
I can imagine
with
that
the
being pretty
Padres.
nerve-wracking, like making a song and then not knowing if baseball's just going to make fun of you. No, it became a number one hit.
Yeah, he's talented. I mean, Tony talked about the talent show. Now, he surprised me by mentioning that Kenley Jansen was the runner-up
with the piano,
playing a piano ballad.
I did know that Kenley Jansen did play piano.
Kenley does not look like a pianist.
He's got big hands. I mean,
glance.
isn't that a big deal with the?
I don't know if it
tickle the ivories. Isn't that what they say?
Well, they do say that, but if big hands is the only requirement, then the best pianist in the world would be Kawhi Leonard, and I don't know that he is. So,
I don't like the word pianist, by the way.
Nobody does. They really should have come up with something different for that.
Like just call it like a piano player.
Piano player would be better. All right, very good. Enjoyed that with Jose Iglesias. He'll be in the number 6 spot in the lineup tonight as the Padres host the Tampa Bay Rays. Fernando Bogarts moves up to 2 tonight. Machado Sheets drops into the cleanup spot. Oscar Gonzalez DHing, then Jose. Tirso Ornelas makes his home debut tonight. Elias Diaz, God, I can't get it. And Tyler Wade. That's your 9 tonight. Again, Shane Boz, 2-0, 3.22. Boz is doing well. Michael King's 3-0, 2.57. You know, he's leading off for Tampa Bay tonight. Could be interesting, Skrabe.
Oh, the fast guy?
The fastest guy like in baseball history, Chandler Simpson.
He stole 100 bases in minor leagues last year.
He is fast, so keep an eye out for him tonight in the leadoff spot for the Rays. We'll keep an eye out for Chris versus the fans when we come back. And also 3 chances next hour to win tickets to see Hart.
A bonanza.
Stick around.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over here or something.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm
where
going
are
to
you
go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh?
Are you a baseball player?
I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm
where
going
are
to
you
go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight and back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
4 o'clock. Casello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco. Tony's getting ready with Jesse. Padres and Rays. And I'll tell you one thing. You've got Padres and Rays tonight. You got to do a little research because none of us know any of the Rays. Like, that's a no-name team to us. We don't watch the American League. We don't hear about it. They got guys like Jonathan Aranda, who's like a big-time slugger in the cleanup spot, first baseman. They got Junior Caminero, who's a big Manny Machado fan, 20 years old, playing third base. Got a rookie named Cameron Meisner, who's been hot this year. But the Rays are not household names, is what I'm getting at.
True. I mean, that's kind of how they've always been.
Yeah, but they win a lot. They're in town. They're 11-14 this year. Padres, as you know, 17-8. Second best record in the bigs. Padres on pace for 102 wins, which if both teams keep up their pace, the Padres, based on that, would finish 75 games ahead of the Rockies. Rockies are on pace for 27.
You
wins.
remember when
I just think that's, I mean, they're in the same league. They're both considered Major League Baseball teams, but that's where the similarities end.
Do you remember when Dick Monfort called out the Padres for spending too much money? When are owner's going to call out Dick Monfort for not spending enough money?
Or just trying to win it all?
Like, or are the owners out there like, okay, fine, we'll just take wins against your team all year. Who cares?
I'm not sure. And Dick Monfort's argument is, oh, we spend top 15 in payroll, but all of that money is going to Chris Bryant, who doesn't
never play. Yeah.
All right, enough on them. They're horrible. We don't have to worry about them till about 2 weeks. We go to Colorado, so we'll sweat out the Rockies at that point. Right now, we got a little Chris versus the Fans coming your way. It'll be the first of 3 chances for you out there to win a not only the Vegas trip in here in Chris versus the Fans, but 2 tickets to see the great rock band Heart, which is performing, I think it's August 13th at Pechanga Arena. So you got the Heart tickets, you got the qualification for Las Vegas. Let's get ready.
If you had one shot, one opportunity to take down the human almanac himself,
howdy do.
Now is your time.
Listen to me, this guy is dangerous.
Now is your opportunity to win a prize.
Well, I hope you know what you're in for.
Chris versus the Fans starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, here are the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question is going to get more difficult as you go along. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets it right, you're eliminated. But if Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or you win. If you're a first-time player, let us know before you get into it, and you'll get that question for free today. All right. NFL draft is underway. We will announce picks as we go along.
Shadur is waiting on the clock.
Is he in his draft room that he built for himself?
Don't know. We'll find out shortly.
I really wanted to talk to Tony about that stuff, but we just didn't have the time. We needed to maximize our time with Tony.
Well, you don't like Shadur, and he does.
It's not that I don't like Shadur. I think Shadur is a good guy.
Okay.
He's just a little too look at me for me.
I think a lot of that's going to go away now that he wasn't picked yesterday.
Yes.
He doesn't have a lot to crow about at this point.
But he's just, I just saw a video while Jose Iglesias thing was going, and it was all about Shadur rapping at his draft party last night. Anyway, let's did we already explain? Yes,
we did the rules. Las Vegas grand prize, you see either Disturbed or Ghost or Pantera, so you get to go to one of those concerts.
Mm-hmm.
You get to stay at the MGM Grand for a couple of nights. You get a $150 gift card, and then you're going to get the 2 ticket. You're qualified for that, but you get the 2 tickets to see Heart.
Absolutely.
So this could be a big haul for you out there.
It would be a massive haul. Let me tell you.
About that, but...
all right.
Who is going to get the haul?
Let's go to Evan.
Evan, maybe.
Hello, Evan.
Hi, Evan.
Hey, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
I thought I'd been blacklisted by Skraby. It's good to be on again.
I don't blacklist anyone.
Yes, you do.
No. Why do you add to these rumors?
That's not a rumor.
Oh my gosh.
And since everybody's given their stats lately, I think I'm a 6-time winner and maybe a 42-time loser.
There you go. That's why I've blacklisted you. You played 48 times.
Oh,
no,
that's
I'm just
not
kidding.
nice,
I'm just kidding.
Maybe half that. Maybe
you
half
have
that.
look, Evan, and here's my theory. You have to take care of the people that take care of you, and Evan takes care of us.
I
so
know.
you have to, he's a ball player.
He's a
Get
ball
him in.
player. All right, Evan, let's play ball.
Here we go.
I'm making these question number 1s very easy so we can get to question number 2s. But what is the name of the NFL commissioner?
Roger Goodell.
Good job. Here we go. Question number 2.
Thanks, Skraby. Are you going to ask about the Major League Commissioner too?
Talk about let's see here. ESPN analyst Dan Orlovsky was drafted in the 5th round by what team?
I only remember him as a Lion, so we'll go with that.
Nice job.
Very good.
He played for a lot of teams.
Did he end up playing for a lot of teams? I didn't know that.
He played
either.
for the Lions twice.
Well, he stepped out of the end zone for the Lions.
He
so
did.
That's all we
did.
remember.
All right, here we go. You get this right, or Chris gets it wrong, and we are done with the game.
Dan Orlovsky, by the way, is proof that you don't really need to be a good player to have a good career in broadcasting.
Yeah,
because he was a terrible player, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay.
I got nothing else to say about that.
No, there's nothing else to say.
Better broadcaster than player.
Yes.
Anyway, Here we go. An NFL draft question. I've been waiting for these questions. Who was the last wide receiver selected first overall in the NFL draft? Hint, it happened before 2000. Who is the...
It's got to be Keyshawn, give me the goddamn ball, Johnson.
Ooh, he was on it. Is he right? He
Wow, Evan just cleaning up.
Man. Sounds like win number 7 there for Evan.
Nice job, Evan. You got to stay on the line, and now you got to wait for a little bit.
Well, that's okay, but you can almost see the disappointment of people falling off the phone lines.
Well, they all just hang up.
Now that, their chance is over. Evan has run the table. Well done, sir. Keyshawn Johnson was the number 1 overall pick, huh?
Is he a bust?
No, but not.
He wasn't great.
He was good. Had a good career. I bet he made a couple of Pro Bowls. Did he not?
I'm
win?
sure he made Pro Bowls. Pro Bowls.
So, I think a bust, you got to be at least like no Pro Bowls.
Let me see.
Did Keyshawn also win a Super Bowl? Was he with Tampa Bay in 2002? I don't remember. So many.
He was.
Okay, then he won the Super Bowl right here in San Diego.
Let's
see. A Super Bowl. Guy ended up catching, Skraby.
He made 3 Pro Bowls in
64 touchdown catches, 800 catches, 10,000 receiving yards. It's hardly a bust.
I don't know. For being a number 1 overall wide receiver.
You want him to be what, in the Hall of Fame then?
I want him to be
a bust?
I want him to at least be someone who is a number 1 by far.
Yeah, I don't think you're being fair.
Okay. I mean, to be honest, when he was drafted, I was 11 years old. So
he had a good career. 10,000 yards receiving is a pretty good career. 64 touchdowns, a Super Bowl, 3 Pro Bowls. Yeah, I think he's got a lot to be embarrassed about. Good question, Scrape. I didn't know the answer because you know how I am on the draft. Poor. Last night, the NFL draft coverage here on 97.3 The Fan was off the charts great. And that is not tooting our own horn.
Okay.
You and I and Braden, we did a solid job. What made it great is that we, thanks to that listener, Jake, and Braden's work on Reddit, kept finding out the picks before they were announced. So if you were tuned into the draft show last night, you got to hear every pick from us before Roger Goodell told the rest of the world. That's what made it incredible night, I thought. What did you think about who was chosen last night? We haven't really talked about this yet. We've talked about Shedeur not being chosen. And are we still waiting for him to be?
They did not. The Browns did not pick Shedeur Sanders with the first pick of the second round.
Oh, my goodness.
They took a guy named Carson Schwessinger.
Yes, they did.
A linebacker from UCLA.
Yes, and now,
now the Texans and the Titans are the next 2 to pick. They do not need a quarterback.
They don't, but somebody could trade up ahead of the Browns and get Shedeur Sanders because the Browns also have the 4th pick. It's starting to get interesting now. But what did you think about, did anybody stand out? I thought Carolina was the one that we seem to agree didn't need a wide receiver at 8. They've selected nothing but wide receivers recently.
Yeah.
And they could use somebody to block for poor Bryce Young, but they took a wide receiver. Doesn't mean they won't get, 3 offensive linemen, after this. But
I think the Giants made a huge, huge mistake trading up to draft
Jackson
Dart.
They probably didn't have to, right?
No, exactly. That's the thing. That's what I'm reading is that they didn't probably need to trade because Jackson Dart wasn't even
he wasn't on anybody's radar.
No, he wasn't on anybody's radar. And the thing that I think about all the time with the Giants is they try so hard to outthink the room with their quarterbacks. They picked Daniel Jones way too early in the first round, way back when. They picked Jackson Dart here, and Brian Dable said, "This is my guy." I mean, I would rather go with someone else other than throwing a dart on Jackson Dart.
Oh, you're a funny guy. And I've always said that. 49ers, your guy. Last place 49ers, Michael Williamson or Williams?
Williams. People are split on this.
Seems like a mix, yes. Yeah. I'm hearing both ways. I'm not hearing a mix on the Dolphins selection of Keith Grant, defensive tackle. All I'm hearing there is that was a stupid pick. So what else is new for the Dolphins? All right, stick around. More to come. Another chance to win Hart tickets, which is what Evan just did, along with qualifying for Vegas with the Chris versus the fans victory. And where will Shador go? When will he go? Not yet, anyway, as Gwynn and Chris continues with traffic.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting.
I actually got in trouble.
And now, the challenger, representing the San Diego Padres, number 20, Kyle Higashioka. Just 1 minute remaining. Arizona. Out of here. That one up into the monster seat. Another home run. And that ends the round. He ends the round with 7 home runs. And he has earned the trip to the semifinal matchup. Now the challenger in this semifinal matchup, number 20, Kyle Higashioka. No doubt about that one. That one carried on to Lansdowne. That one is gone. He now has bonus time. Just 1 minute remaining. No question about that one. And that's enough to put him in the championship matchup. And that ends the round. Finishes. Let's see what he can do. And now, the challenger in this championship round, Kyle Higashioka. That one carried on to Lansdowne. That one is gone. And he's earned 30 seconds of bonus time. Just 1 minute remaining. That draw off the right pole. There's a home run. Seconds left. And now, the challenger, representing the San Diego Padres, number 20, Kyle Higashioka. Just 1 minute remaining. For Arizona. It's out of here. That one up into the monster seat. Another home run. And that ends the round. He ends the round with 7 home runs. And he has earned a trip to the semifinal matchup. Now the challenger in this semifinal matchup, number 20, Kyle Higashioka. No doubt about that one. And it's gone. That one carried on to Lanza. That one is gone. He now has bonus time. Just 1 minute remaining. No question about that one. And half it up to put up in the championship matchup. And that ends the round. Finishes. Let's see what he can do. And now, the challenger in this championship round, Kyle Higashioka. And it's gone. That one carried on to Lanza. That one is gone. And he's earned 30 seconds of bonus time. Just 1 minute remaining. That draw off the right pole. There's a home run. 30 seconds left.
Hall of Fame territory as a Chris versus the fans playa.
I wish we had actual records.
Yeah, that would be pretty weird if we, went back like 7 years.
No,
on
I'm
all
definitely
of those.
not doing that.
Yeah, you got the weekend coming up.
I'm definitely not doing that. I'll repeat it.
I know.
Remember when I tried to keep stats for you through like
For
the
a
first
while,
3
yeah.
months of the year?
Yeah, and then I was too good for you, and you
Yeah,
didn't
I
want
get
to.
it, yeah.
You got tired of giving my stats because they were too high.
It's true.
That bothered you.
Yes, it did.
NFL draft continuing day 2. First pick of the second round was not Shador. Carson Schweissinger, linebacker UCLA, goes to the Browns. Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State, is now a Texan to catch passes from C.J. Stroud. And Nick Emanwari, South Carolina safety, goes to the Seahawks. Third pick of the second round. Now Cleveland's back up. And I should mention the Seahawks traded up to get that third pick in the second round. Wasn't originally their pick, but the Seahawks moved up. Now the Browns have the second pick of the second round. And if they don't take Shador here, then, he's going to keep falling and falling and falling. The Saints are waiting. I don't know how much longer this is going to go for him.
Our guy Jake already told me.
Jake said it's going to be Shador?
No. It's not going to be Shador.
Not going to be Shador here?
I feel like we're ruining it for everyone, but oh well. Quinshawn Judkins, the running back from Ohio State.
That's who the Browns are going to take.
That's what Jake's saying.
Not Tyler. Don't they have another running back? Weathers? I thought the Ohio State had another big-time running back.
Well, Judkins, I remember he was Ohio State, right? We're just waiting for the official pick right here. And it was Judkins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was who Jake said. I mean, that's not a surprise. Jake's been doing this for 2 days. All right. So Shador Sanders, everyone had him being taken by Cleveland with one of these two picks, and he wasn't. So the slide continues for Shador. Raiders are next on the board. We'll keep you up to date.
He could be taken by the Raiders.
I don't know. I mean, at some point, it's going to get, if it hasn't already reached this point, he's going to have a chip the size of the Rock of Gibraltar on his shoulders going into the NFL. Because these teams are passing on him right and left. Remember, he was originally thought to be the 3rd overall pick. All right.
I have to say that teams are either really paying attention to the fact that they don't think he's an NFL quarterback, or they just don't want to deal with the drama. Like, I'm not saying that Shador himself causes drama, but Dion's going to be in the media talking about the team, talking about different.
Let me ask you this.
Shador's not playing when the quarterback that they already have is not very good.
Let me ask you this. The biggest father detriment that I've ever seen was
LeVar
Ball. Yeah, LeVar Ball. Didn't keep the Lakers from getting Lonzo with the 2nd pick. Didn't keep Charlotte the next year from picking up LaMelo.
That's a good point.
And really, ever since they've been drafted, the only story has been that Lonzo can't, get his knee right to play
because he wore his dad's shoes that wrecked his knees.
Whatever wrecked his knees, but his dad's been largely silent since they went into the NBA.
Well, his dad also he went through a pretty scary medical situation where they had to remove it. I think they amputated his foot.
Oh, well, I'm not happy to hear that.
No, they did. And I think it was, I'm not going to actually say what I think it was, but they did amputate his foot.
All right, let's get away from that.
You don't want to talk about amputated
not
feet?
Really. No, I'm not in the mood. Let's give away a pair of Heart tickets. We promised
our second one
every segment, and here's our second pair of Heart tickets. You have to dial in at 833-288-0973. You have to answer this question, and the first person to answer it correctly will win a pair of tickets to see Heart. The band Heart has had 2 #1 hits on the Billboard charts in its history. Name either of those 2 songs that made it all the way to #1 for the band Heart. You do it, you'll go see Heart. So start. It's a little early to give that out, but I didn't want to miss it. We got a couple of minutes before the end of it. What happened? Dolphins just moved
trade with the Raiders.
Oh, well, the Dolphins want to improve on their pick of Kenneth Grant, who everybody panned in the first round yesterday. So let's see what the Dolphins do. They probably just gave away like 6 picks to get whoever they think this is going to be the next great player for them.
You know what I love about the cameras of the draft room is that you see people that look extremely stressed because they're trying to do something. Like
you wonder who all these people, like who's this guy? We shouldn't talk about it because we can see this on TV.
Well, there's a woman with her cell phone and she looks very, very stressed.
She looks like she's texting to tell her husband she's gonna be a little late for dinner.
She looked like she was trying to get it up on social media.
Oh, you think that was it? All right, the Dolphins, according to Mel Kiper, need a safety, a cornerback, and an offensive lineman. So you can be pretty sure that they won't draft any of those 3 because, they're stupid. I know that there's one cornerback still available.
What's their name?
Will Johnson, who was supposed to go to them in the first round from Michigan. He's supposed to be the best cornerback out there. So he's still available. So it makes sense to me. Not that the Dolphins ever make sense, to take him here.
It's not him.
Well, I'm
going to make you wait on this one because I already know.
They already told you.
It's not Will Johnson.
Well, they're stupid. I hope they took an offensive lineman then.
I don't know actually what position they chose, but we'll see here in about 1 second.
Sorry to keep everybody hostage here for the Miami pick, but hey, you'll have to live with it.
You'll have to live with it.
Well, we follow the team here, so you have to just deal with this for a minute. And it is
an offensive lineman. Jonah Savanea
from Arizona. All right, and they moved up to get this guy, so he better be able to block somebody. All right, we got the Heart question is out.
Yes.
Name a #1 song that the band Heart had. They had 2. You call in, get it right, and you get the tickets. We have the Big 5 coming up next after we take a quick break on San Diego's #1 sports talk station. Boston 19, Orlando 12, 97.3 The Fan. You're welcome. 4:34. Jason out there is going to see the band Heart on August 13th at Pechanga Arena. A little trivia there. Heart has had 2 number 1 songs, reached the top of the Billboard charts. Jason guessed the song These Dreams.
These dreams
Yeah,
are moments.
Yeah,
I don't really know the rest of the words.
No, it's just stop. These Dreams is correct, though. So Jason won. The other one you could have named his name. The song is called Alone. So those are the 2 number 1 songs. I was a little surprised. I thought Barracuda would have been like the one, but that never made it higher than 11.
How's that possible?
I know, it's a great song. Crazy on You, which is another huge favorite, never made it higher than 35. So
I've heard of Barracuda and Crazy on You more than those other 2 songs.
I know. Most people have. Magic Man, another one you might have heard, got to number 9. Anyway, Jason got it right, so he'll go see Heart. Going to give you a chance to win another pair before we get to today's Big Five. I told you we're going to do 3 this hour. Well, here's the third pair. One more trivia question headed your way. Prior to that running back from Ohio State, Trayvon Henderson, just went to the Patriots at the 6th pick of the 2nd round. So what happened there is Quishon Judkins, running back Ohio State, went to the Browns. Then the guard, Jonas Savailanea, something like that, went to the Dolphins. And then another Ohio State running back, Trayvon Henderson, goes to the Patriots. Bears are up. Saints are next. Saints have to take Shedeur Sanders, but we'll see if they do. All right, here's your trivia question, and then we got to get to the Big Five. Name the only franchise in the history of baseball that has never lost 100 games. The only franchise in the history of baseball that has never lost 100 games. 833-288-0973. Get that question right. You'll go see Heart. Here we go with traffic. No, we go right to the Big Five. Skraby makes the call. I listen to what he tells me.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
It was actually very difficult to find 5 Big Five topics today because of the NFL draft last night. Lots of storylines coming out of that.
You could have just taken 5 from the draft, maybe. I mean, I
figured we were going to talk about a lot of them throughout the show, but we are going to talk about Shedeur Sanders, and not in the way you think I'm going to bring Shedeur Sanders up. But first, we're going to start with this. This hour at 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends June 14th.
Ooh.
Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Good stuff, Staples. By the way, I've never thanked...
Good stuff, Staples.
Yes, I've never thanked the following person for introducing us every single day on the Big Five. Seth MacFarlane, thank you.
Isn't
he the voice of
he's
Peter
the voice
Griffin?
of Peter Griffin. Yes, he is.
Thank you, Seth MacFarlane, for that fine introduction every day. We've never
Shout out
given
to
him
Seth.
credit. Yeah,
I know you
shout
guys
out.
have probably heard this, and everybody's probably heard this a million times, but he was supposed to be on a plane that crashed in 9/11, and
Wow, I
he
didn't
missed
hear
the
that.
flight.
Wow, well, that's
So-
something that would stick with you.
That would stick with you a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah there you go. All right, with that all said,
Yeah,
Number 5.
cheering everybody up already.
let's talk about Kyle Hart. And he was optioned to AAA today, and a move that was made because of how the schedule and off days line up. Ryan Berger, Berger was called up for bullpen help. Through 5 starts, we've seen a very good Kyle Hart, an okay Kyle Hart, and a not so good Kyle Hart. Chris, what is your grade for Kyle Hart through 5 starts?
B. Here's why. He's the number 5 starter. I don't expect Kyle Hart to go out there and give me 7 shutout innings. He did that the one game, or 6, I think it was, against the Rockies. And I love the way he battled, especially in his last start there against Detroit. That could have gotten away from him. He hung in there. He helped keep the team in the ball game. That's all you expect from your number 5 starter. Typically, he made some mistakes, and when he made them, it seemed like everybody made him pay. He would put the ball in the middle of the plate, and they would hit it out of the yard. So, but overall, Kyle Hart gave me what I wanted. 5-6 innings, 3 or 4 runs. Game isn't totally out of hand. That's what number 5 starters do. I give him a solid B. And I think, and just to add, I think he'll be back. I really think this is just a move made, like you said, for the schedule. Give him a chance to go pitch a couple games down to AAA, and I think we'll see more of him.
Tony, through 5 starts, what is your grade for Kyle Hart?
I would say a B. B. I think B. Chris kind of hit it on the head there. I think your number 5 starter is, kind of a guy who's at the back end of the rotation, and you just want to keep you in ball games. And I think for the most part, he did that. I'm sure he would tell you he wants to pitch better overall, but I think he was perfectly fine. I think the schedule is kind of set up to where the Padres can go one less starter and bring a bullpen arm up. I think I also agree with Chris that I think he'll be back too.
I would say one other thing, Skraby, before we move on. I felt more relaxed when Kyle Hart pitched than I did or do when Randy Vasquez pitches, because at least Kyle Hart mostly throws strikes. And that's honestly the way I feel about it. Randy Vasquez makes me nervous.
Yes, we know.
Yes,
we know.
Number 4.
I read a CBS Sports article this morning, and the title was, quote, "Why did Shedeur Sanders slide? Is the wrong question about quarterback." Wait, sorry.
Try it again.
Sorry, everybody.
Try it again.
I typed this wrong.
No.
Why did Shedeur Sanders slide is the wrong question for... This is really bad, guys.
Man can't even read his own
I can't even
writing.
read the title. I don't even understand it. Basically, what he's saying is, why did Shedeur Sanders slide is the wrong question to ask, because most draft evaluators...
When you say he, are you talking about you, or are you talking about someone else?
The author.
Okay.
The author. If most draft evaluators thought he was a second-round pick from the beginning, should we be surprised, Tony, at all that Shedeur Sanders was not picked last night?
If indeed everybody thought he was a second-rounder, then we shouldn't be surprised. But I don't know how true that is. I think
Mel Kiper had him in the first round.
Mel Kiper had him as his number 5 overall prospect, way up there in the first round. So,
yeah, I think that's the crappy part about this draft is that all these narratives get spun out there.
Yeah,
and
they do.
I think these teams who all have the similar grades of these guys, there's not a wide ranging of grades for these guys, all know it. Some of them choose to keep that in-house. Some of them choose to go pop off anonymously in articles. And so if indeed everybody has him as a second-round pick, then no, this is par for course. But there's the tension because I don't think everybody had him as a second-round pick. And at the end of the day, it may be the best thing that happens for him, that he can land in a spot that is fits him well. And I don't know that I'm going to be pulling for anybody harder than Shedeur Sanders to just roll out and ball so that he can. Y'all thought y'all had enough of him in college. Don't let him have a good first season. Oh, it's going to be on.
I mean, yeah, he has the chip on his shoulder now, and
he should have it.
It might actually be better for him that he's going later, because
that's what
he might go to
saying.
A team that's going to support him a little bit more.
I agree,
and he has less
Chris.
pressure, a little less pressure. Well, Tony's 100% right. The teams give all of the people who cover the NFL draft all these narratives. They run with the narratives. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong, but they run with them as if they're all true.
Right.
So we have to take it with a grain of salt. The very original narrative was that Shedeur Sanders was the 3rd pick in the draft going to the Giants. All right. Well, here's how interested the Giants were in him. They traded up to the 26th spot and took Jackson Dart instead. So the Giants had no interest in taking Shedeur at the 3 spot, but that narrative was given to us. So it looks like it's a big disappointment. So ultimately, he's going to end up going where teams think he should go. Cleveland, to me, here today, will get him. And I think he'll go there with a little less pressure. It's still Shedeur Sanders. But if he uses this as motivation, which he should, this is the best thing that could ever happen. What did everybody not like about Shedeur Sanders? He's so egotistical. He's so into himself. He thinks all that about himself. This should knock him down a perfect peg, right to where he's in the perfect attitude. And let me just say this. Don't let Jackson Dart match up against Shedeur Sanders in a game down the road somewhere.
Seriously.
Because guess who's going to be motivated to win that game?
I would think Shedeur Sanders would be a little motivated.
I'm just
for that.
saying. So, Tony's hit it, man. We got to take the draft with a grain of salt, but we don't. We believe everything that we see.
You know what I liken it to? I liken it to baseball season every year. All of us have been watching baseball for almost our entire lives. Yet, when the season rolls out, the narratives form, and we all jump on them every year, even though we know better.
Right.
And so it's the same thing with this draft. We know better. We know that these narratives are put out there. How many guys have we seen? I mean, Aaron Rodgers comes to mind quickly, left in that room, whatever the narrative was, and he's going to go down as one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it. So, I guess it's incumbent upon us to not fall for the banana in the tailpipe every year, but we do.
Well, it's too fun to fall for.
Yeah.
And you're right.
It is.
You're right. There was no narrative concerning Tom Brady or Brock Purdy either. I don't recall anybody mentioning either guy that year or those years.
No, I didn't even know who Brock Purdy was a couple of years ago.
For real.
Number 3.
According to a report from Rob Rossi of The Athletic, TNT Sports is going to call 3 additional first-round NHL playoff games remotely from the network's Atlanta headquarters. Game 3 and 4 of the Los Angeles Kings Oilers series and Game 4 of the Maple Leafs Ottawa Senators series will be called without on-site announcers. Any elimination game, barring a series sweep for the Oilers or Senators, will have announcers on location, but the decision was primarily made for financial reasons. Per Rob Rossi, quote, fully covering a game on site, particularly in smaller Canadian cities, requires a significant financial investment, including the presence of a mobile production truck with technicians, plus the travel costs for on-air talent, end quote, which I believe is part of the deal when you sign up to broadcast games. But
you would think.
How about that?
Chris, how bad of a look is this for TNT?
The worst. And I want you to promote this more. And I'm gonna yell.
What should I do?
Yes, I'm gonna yell from the mountaintops how bad of a look this is for TNT. It all started because of COVID.
Yep.
When everybody decided, oh, wait a minute, we don't have to send announcers. Yes, you do. And every time a poor announcer is stuck doing a game when they're not there, how much stuff do they miss? There's no way they can help it. They can't help it. They're only looking at the screen.
They're at mercy to whatever the camera is showing them on the TV.
Exactly. They miss so much stuff, and it's not their fault. And I just don't ever want this to become a thing for all the broadcasters behind me, that are working their way up and deserve to go and be with their teams.
Part of it is the crowd. Part of it is the feel.
Everything.
It's all of it.
Everything is so important. And Tony's right. TNT signed up to broadcast the NHL. Pretty sure they knew that announcers were part of the package.
Yep.
Sorry that Edmonton's far away, but you knew they were in the league when you signed in. I hate this, and I'm really, I'm adamant that this stops immediately, but I know it won't.
Tony, I remember you and Jesse calling games. I remember Jesse one time going, and that's a foul ball, but I have no idea where it went because I can't see it.
The poor Joe Musgrove no-hitter, as great of a job as Jesse did on that, and you, Tony, there's no way you guys could have given it perfect justice because you weren't there.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think, Tony? How bad of a look is this?
I think it's a horrible look. It's such a lazy, money-saving cop-out.
Yes.
For all, and to be fair, it's not just TNT that's doing this stuff.
No,
Fox
ESPN does it a lot on the
does
college basketball games. ESPN Plus, stuff like that. They don't want to send people.
That is
So-
just it is, and you know what? Once again, it is incumbent upon the viewers to press these
Yes.
places about it.
Very good.
If we are watching and we are like, we don't like what we're seeing because they're not there, they're in a garage or a room somewhere. Guess what? They'll be forced to have to change that. But unless we are raising a big stink about it, they're gonna keep saving money and doing what they do, even though they are, making boatloads of it. They'll tell you that they're not, but it's just to me, it's a cop out.
TNT is in my crosshairs right now because
it's
they've
such a cop out.
done this.
And if I'm the NHL, I'm feeling some type of way about
me
that.
too, yeah.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm already as a league already trying to keep up with the Joneses and everybody else that's on ESPN and NBC. Now you're gonna not even send my broadcasters to the game because it's in a small Canadian city. Get out of here, man.
That is the funny part. Is they said, well, these cities are small and they're hard to get to, so
Yeah, sure.
we're not going to send anyone. It's never been a problem before.
Just say, you know what? I would respect it more if they just were honest. Like, hey, you know what?
It's
We don't
too
want to spend. We don't want to spend the money. We don't want to spend the money, and so we're just gonna leave these guys in the room.
I'm gonna give you one more on this. I'm pretty sure everybody knows Steve Quiss, local broadcaster here. He does a lot of things for ESPN. I'm pretty sure that during or right after COVID, he was doing an Aztec basketball game or UCSD or somebody like that on ESPN 2 or 3. They sent him to a studio across the country to broadcast a game from the studio that was being played in the city that he lived in.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Wild.
They did that to Don.
The dumbest thing you've ever heard, right?
They sent Don to do the game in LA, and it was here.
There you go.
That's so weird.
I mean,
That's how stupid it is.
How do these people get in charge of their, get jobs that they get?
Because they are saving Big Boss some coin.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very annoying. Very annoying.
Got us riled up now, Skraby.
No, I feel like it would be funny. They're calling the playoff game and they're like, "Oh, it's commercial. I need to go to the bathroom." And then they open the door and everybody's just having a party outside in the office.
Number 2.
All right. Last night, after the Clippers beat the Nuggets, Kawhi Leonard made some news heading into the post-game press conference. As he was walking up to the podium, he removed.
Did he smile?
No.
That would be newsworthy.
As he was walking up to the podium, he removed the Gatorade that was sitting on the table, and he said, "Quote: Take those Gatorades down. Kids don't need to be drinking that." And
hey, Kawhi. Yes, sir.
Gatorade now is the official sports drink sponsor of the NBA, so there could be some pushback on this. But in this day and age, everyone has their opinions on everything, and some are praising Kawhi for this, and some are saying Kawhi shouldn't be telling people what to give their kids. Tony, where do you
argument
fall?
from the other people that he's telling people how to do what to do with their kids?
Yep,
that's hilarious. Where do I fall on it?
Yep,
I like that Kawhi is standing for something, but this is like NBA's like one of their biggest sponsors. So
since 1980 something.
Right, you're gonna have to play some ball a little bit. I'm pretty sure he got away with that one. He won't get away with the next one. They'll definitely make sure those bottles are showing just
Spun
as they
around.
did. Yeah, they'll definitely do that. Listen, there are certain players in all leagues that have the kind of clout where they can remove something like that and they'll get a pass on it. But I promise you, if that was the 15th man off on the roster coming in there trying to move that, they'd have said, "Sir, we're gonna need you to take your hands off the Gatorade bottle." In terms of people feeling some way because
he's telling kids what to do or telling them what to do,
that's stupid.
Thank you, Chris. That's exactly what I was.
The Gatorade brand fans were just furious.
Here's a
the
couple
Gatorade brand fans.
Here's my thing with this. I think Kawhi's doing a big service to a lot of people. As Tony said, they're not going to let him do this again because it's such a big sponsor. But didn't we all grow up believing that Gatorade was a healthy thing for us to
Absolutely,
have? Like I'm a little tired. Gatorade, that's the thing. But we never have been told how much sugar and all the crap that was in that stuff. We just thought Gatorade was good for us. Kawhi at least is going to get everybody to say, "Whoa, really? It's not that great for me. Now let me make a better informed decision." I don't think he's necessarily telling you what to drink. I think he's saying make a better informed decision. If you want Gatorade, fine, but understand what's in it. That's what I think he was meaning by this.
I think that's what he was meaning too.
Right. And this all started, if I'm not mistaken, with the Dream Team in 1992, because Michael Jordan and Magic, especially, and maybe more, were Nike guys. And the uniforms and sweats and pullover things that the Dream Team wore were put together by Reebok. And Michael Jordan
was a Converse guy.
Converse guy, right. And Jordan was Nike. So they came out for the national anthem, and everyone said, how are they going to do this? Because they don't want to be showing the Reebok logo. And, of course, Jordan figured it out. He draped the American flag over his sweat outfit so you couldn't see the Reebok logo. But
by the way,
this has been going on for a long time.
By the way, brilliant on Michael's part to use the American flag as kind of a shield, basically.
Michael
keep people off of him.
He was good at a lot of stuff, and that was one. Not upsetting sponsors was one of them.
Yes. I went out and bought 2 gallons and just chugged Gatorade this morning because Kawhi told me not to. So.
Kawhi told you. Well, that's how you would react to something like that.
No,
I'm going to do it anyway.
I think Cristiano Ronaldo a couple years ago we played it where he removed soda from the podium and he put up water. He said, "Everybody drink more water." Okay,
I like it.
Thanks, Ronaldo.
No, I like
it. Here's Skraby mad as Ronaldo's trying to look out for people.
What if I wanted to enjoy that soda?
Yeah, we could all be a little healthier with the knowledge.
Fine. Eagles center Cam Jurgens just signed a big 4-year, $68 million deal with the Eagles, and the media asked him, Tony, I have a feeling Tony knows what's going to happen. Jurgens?
It's a heck of a Jurgens.
Jurgens, I thought you were laughing at something else, but
no.
He was asked by the media to talk about his newfound wealth and what he's going to do with it. So here he is. He's the center for the Eagles, but here is Cam Jurgens.
Hey Cam, congrats. Last year, Landon told us his big purchase was the mower when he got paid. Do you have anything in mind for yourself?
I haven't given it too much thought. I feel like I fly a lot, so I might look into this thing called TSA pre-check. I feel like that sounds like it's a good idea. I'm kind of tired of waiting in lines. I think I could afford that. So I think you can. I think I'm going to look into TSA pre-check next.
See
if I can get that.
That's
done.
a good one.
There you go. So
That's
TSA
good.
pre-check is what he wants to spend
He
his
said
money
this
on.
thing called pre-SAT.
Yeah, right. As if the rest of us have never heard of it.
Right.
It's a $50 card, which I have, and I think it's one of the best $50 I've ever spent. So I don't blame him for choosing this, but it is pretty funny for a $68 million person to be thinking of that.
I like how he's like, he
Simple. I love
says TSA
that.
pre-check, but he doesn't know if everybody knows what it is, even though everybody does know what it is. All right, so here's the question, Tony. What does this tell you about Cam Jurgens?
That he's a simple man. That he's not thinking about a new Ferrari or he's thinking about TSA pre-check.
I love it.
I think that's awesome. It's funny because I've been haggling with my wife over getting TSA pre-check.
Oh, you
Because
got to do it.
most of the time I fly, I'm with the team.
Yeah, right.
So
You don't have
she's
to.
like, you don't need to pay the extra money to do it. I'm like, but the 3 or 4 times I fly by myself or without the team, it would come in handy. Those lines are getting worse and worse the more we do this.
And you
right?
have to undress when you go through. I have to get back. I have to get dressed on the other side of the
Everybody
TSA.
does.
Yeah.
Everybody
When you
does.
go to the airport, layers are not a good thing. Like
No.
you shouldn't have layers.
I keep in mind, I may have to strip down at the airport, so I'm going to wear something
I'll tell you what,
comfortable.
I see what Cam Jurgens could have said, which would have been along the lines of being beneficial. He should have said, you know what, I think I'll buy TSA pre-check cards for everyone in the organization.
That would be expensive.
Right? But expensive for him? $50 for 200 people, whatever it is, or 200.
You do the math.
Anyway, it's funny to me. But I do like the TSA pre-check. I highly recommend it to everybody, including you, Tony.
Yes, I'm
you know
with
what?
it.
I may now buy you one for Christmas. Now that I know you don't have one yet.
Wow.
Can you do that?
I don't know. Probably not.
Probably not.
I could probably give him the funds. He'd have to go do it. But
Right.
traveling as much as I do with radio equipment and stuff, and we do fly commercial with the Aztecs, it's a must.
Yeah,
So,
I would say
yeah.
it's a must as well.
All right.
All right, that's it for the Big Five. When we get back, we are going to get you set up for this opener. Opener? I don't know what an opener is, but an opener between the Padres and the Rays. We'll also hear from Jose Iglesias. So that's all coming up next on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protect.
And we welcome you back to Gwynn and Chris. Happy hour time brought to you by GL Pools, the swimming pool experts, trusted by thousands of San Diegans since 2006. Baseball's back, baby, and so is swim season. Call now, mention the word radio. You'll get a free month of pool service thanks to our friends at GL Pools. Crisello, Tony Gwynn Jr. down at Petco Park. Matt Skraby alongside will be sending it down to Petco here in a half an hour for Sam Levitt's pregame show. But before that, you'll get to hear again, if you missed it earlier, a really good one. Interview, our Friar Friday visit with Jose Iglesias. Find out the latest on what Padres music may be coming your way as the summer goes along. While we were in that Big Five, NFL draft continued. And a quarterback was taken, and a player named Sanders was taken.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the same thing. The Saints, with the 8th pick of the second round, with Shador Sanders still available, said, They took Tyler Shaw, quarterback from Louisville. The very next pick was a guy named TJ Sanders, but he's no relation to Dion or to Shador, and he's going to the Bills. There's been 3 picks since then. Jets, your 49ers took another defensive tackle, rush guy, Alfred Collins.
Love him.
Well, I must say that the video they showed of him, he looks like he's going straight to the Hall of Fame.
Very impressive.
They made him look really, really good in the video. Cowboys just took an edge rusher. So the Colts are next. We're now 13 picks into the second round. Shador Sanders still available. So that's becoming a bigger now and bigger story of the draft. Padres and Rays tonight. I looked this up today, Scrab, because I like to do this stuff.
Yes.
The Padres, as you know, because I brought it up more than anyone else, I'm bringing it up because I wanted to, I want to jinx it to the point where they finally do this. No 3-run homers yet this year. No grand slams. And remember, this is Slam Diego. They haven't, no 3-run homers, let alone a slam.
Can't call it Slam Diego without a slam.
Not really. And not only do they don't have any of those, every other team in baseball does have at least one 3-run homer. The Red Sox have 9. So there's teams that have a whole bunch of these. Dodgers have 5, I think, 6, 7. Padres don't have any. The reason I'm bringing it up is it is hard to score, crooked numbers without 3-run home runs. You need a lot of hits to get these runs in. And frankly, with the lineup the Padres have had lately, they don't have enough guys at the moment with all the injuries to string together a lot of hits. So this is, to me, why they're scoring 2 runs, 3 runs a game. They don't have the same talent they had early in the season. They could use a couple of guys to get on tonight and somebody to park one so they could get a 3 on the board all at once. Anyway.
I mean, Fernando is the most likely guy to hit the 3-run home run, but he's not. People aren't on base for him.
Right. The guys before him have to get on. So anyway, here's how crazy it is, Skraby. Around baseball so far this year, between 3-run homers and grand slams, there's been 109 of them hit.
Whoa.
Yeah. 109.
That's a lot more than I thought.
I know. Me too. Between 3-run homers and grand slams, 109 times that's happened, but not yet for the Padres. I just think that's crazy. So Padres have hit 24 home runs, which is in the middle of the pack, lower middle. Okay. They're not number 1, but they're not last. They're lower middle, 18 solo shots and 6 2-run homers. That's it for the long ball. So this is something I think to look, keep an eye on this weekend. Let's see if we can put this to bed by the time we get back here on Monday.
Exercise those 3-run home run demons.
Yes, let's get that done this weekend. Michael King would certainly appreciate it tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He's on the mound. Shane Boz, right-hander, young 25-year-old, throwing for Tampa Bay tonight. The Rays come in at 11-14. Padres come in a half game up on the Gigantes, a game up on the 3rd place Dodgers. I just kind of like saying that.
It's nice because it's not going to hold up.
Probably not. Yeah. You know what I like? What do I like more? 3rd place Dodgers or last place 49ers? That's a close one for me. I like last place 49ers.
If people could only see my face.
I think that rolls off the tongue, actually. But third place Dodgers is pretty good. Diamondbacks are, I believe, 2.5 back and forth. So it's a tight NL West. Padres, as you know, are 12-1 at home. They've been, mucho dominant at home. They got a 1.30 team ERA at home.
Yeah.
So,
which is kind of strange because the last couple of years they've struggled at home in the beginning of the season.
Struggled more at home than on the road.
And
this
now
year,
it's the complete opposite.
This year, completely dominant at home. They got to keep it up. And they have to do it with less than a full lineup. Not even close to a full lineup.
Not even close.
Jake is not back.
He's not
Jackson's
back until
not back.
May.
Right. Jake's
middle of May.
Jake's not back for a while. Jackson and Lockridge, according to AJ Preller, was on this morning with Ben and Woods. You can hear that interview. Look it up at 97.3 The Fan.
SD.com.
SD.com. Right. Look it up. You can hear the whole interview. But he said very unlikely that Jackson nor Lockridge playing, at least on this homestand.
Yeah.
And not guaranteeing they'd be back after that either. Arise, I think, is the one guy we might get back on the homestand.
He's probably itching to get back in that lineup.
I would think so. A 7-day IL stint ends, I believe, Sunday. But other than that, you got to get it done with what you've got. To that end, the Padres will run on out to the field here shortly. Now, the Rays this weekend. Next week, Giants. And that's a little extra special now because it's a division. You don't get to see the division now very much. Giants are playing, great ball. Bowmel. You got the top two teams in the division right now. Not even the Dodgers are there.
This is this is a big matchup.
All right. So guess what? I got 2 tickets. Skraby gave me 2 tickets to give away.
Yes.
If you're listening right now, man, what good timing.
Yes. You're going to get 2 tickets to Tuesday's Padres game against the Giants. The first 40,000 fans will receive a free Tony Gwynn rookie bobblehead. Get tickets now. Padres.com/tickets.
Yeah, that bobblehead doll is going to be in demand. Make sure you're there early Tuesday so you get one.
And don't steal them from other people.
Well, just don't be a hog, a pig. Leave a
bobblehead pig.
Right, leave some for everyone. You don't get them all. Everybody gets one. That's right.
If I saw a kid crying because they didn't get one and I had one,
you would give it to them.
I would walk
too.
by the kid and say, "Sorry, kid, this one's too cool. I'm taking it home."
What would you do? What would you do if some guy holding 7 of them was walking by a kid who's crying because he doesn't have one?
I would knock him on the ground and hopefully everybody would get.
Appreciate you, Skraby. All right, 833-288-0973. I see everybody's calling in already. That's not going to do you any good because Skraby's going to hang up on all of you. You have to wait for the question. And here it is. First person with the correct answer will win Padres Giants tickets. Who is the Giants' all-time leader in victories? Pitcher, all-time leader in victories for the Giants. First person with the correct answer to that question will go see the Giants and the Padres. How's traffic?
From the 855, get...
It has to do with average temperatures in the year 2024. And this is the average temperature, high, maximum per day, minimum per day. It is going to be your job today to find the 25 states whose average temperature is under 55 degrees. California's at 60. You're looking for anything under 55. I'm not going to let you go first. I'm going to give Tony first.
Let's start with Montana.
That is correct.
Montana.
Montana is the 4th coldest state in the U.S., 44.5 degrees average temperature. All right, Skraby, that leaves a really obvious one for you. I gave Tony first. He didn't take it, so you can.
I don't know that these are that obvious to any of us.
All right,
Chris.
Well, I think one is obvious.
Alaska,
I think. Thought Alaska was pretty obvious. 27.8 degrees average temperature in Alaska. 16 degrees colder than any other state. Tony's up.
Washington, the state.
State of Washington is on the list at 48.4. So Tony takes a 2-1 lead. Skraby, give me a cold state.
Maine.
Tony, you're up 2-2.
How about Idaho?
Idaho's pretty cold. Cold enough at 45.5. 7th coldest in the U.S.
Well, it's my favorite state to say. Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah, that was kind of obvious. Same as Idaho. Minnesota, 45.5, Tony.
How about North Dakota?
North Dakota. There
North
you
Dakota.
go. You found it. Number 2, 43.7 there.
I'll take the lesser known Dakota. The
South Dakota.
I think it's the more known Dakota.
Yeah, I would think it's more. Tony, you are up in a 4-4 tie with no strikes yet.
How about Oregon?
Oregon, believe it or not, Oregon's cold enough to make the list. Tony's 5, Skraby's 4.
Never been here, but I knew someone from here and said it's very cold. New Hampshire.
New Hampshire's cold. Tony.
How about Vermont?
Vermont's cold, and it's right next to New Hampshire, so that was good. 46.3. Tony goes up 6-5.
How about Wisconsin?
Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure that's going to be in there. Just below. Tony, you're up.
We're going to move to Wisconsin's neighbor. How about a little Illinois?
Oh.
How about a little Illinois? Little Illinois didn't make it. You can get your first lead of the day here.
A state that I've been to, a state that has beautiful scenery, Wyoming.
That's number 3, Wyoming, 44.3. I can definitely second that.
Laramie is like the
notion, having been there every year to Laramie. It's cold. Tony.
Iowa.
Iowa.
That's a great one.
Is it?
Has to be on there.
51.5. Iowa just snuck in there.
I'm going to bank on the part of the state that's not attached to the paw is cold. Michigan.
Michigan is a winner. Very good. The Upper Peninsula you're referring to.
The pod.
How about Utah?
Utah, Salt Lake City and company. Yep,
Park
it's
City.
cold there. 51.2. That is correct. Tony hits it. 8-8. The only difference is Tony's got a strike.
Nueva York.
Nueva York.
New York for Chris.
It does get cold there in New York. 49 degrees average temperature in New York is Tony.
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
What about Ohio?
You ready to come up with an answer, Skraby?
Ohio.
Too hot.
I
Too
know.
hot.
I was thinking that because it's next to Illinois, but I live
Too
there
hot.
and it snowed.
Is that what you want, Ohio?
Yeah.
54.9.
Oh!
It's the last one on there. Skraby goes up 10-9.
How about a little Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Frigid old Pennsylvania.
Frigid old Pennsylvania.
Home of Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Harrisburg. And cold enough at 52.1 to make the list.
Pennsylvania, baby.
10-10.
Massachusetts?
It has not been said. Doesn't mean it's correct, but it is. 51.2. Skraby hits a bell.
Massachusetts.
11-10. Tony, you're up.
Oh, man, this is hard.
There are 4 left.
Cold. How about Indiana?
Oh.
Indiana. No, Tony. That's a strike. 55.2. Indiana just over by 0.2.
Some of the cold spots in the country are in the plains. Nebraska.
Nebraska.
Yeah. Lincoln. That's all I got on Nebraska.
Skraby's doing okay. That's correct.
Wow!
52 degrees.
Colorado.
Colorado. Skraby for the win.
One of the most forgotten places in the United States
Is
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. And it is correct.
Yes! Sorry, that was a lot. Does that mean I win?
Game is over. Yes,
Game
you've
is
won.
over!
That was a stupid game.
I didn't think you'd like it since it didn't win it.
Those are my shoes on the glass.
Sound like you're playing basketball over there. Sounds like shoes squeaking on the floor.
Lack of rhythm is what that's called.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. I've told you many times before, I am not made for dancing.
It has to do with average temperatures in the year 2024. And this is the average temperature, high, maximum per day, minimum per day. It is going to be your job today to find the 25 states whose average temperature is under 55 degrees. California's at 60. You're looking for anything under 55. I'm not going to let you go first. I'm going to give Tony first.
Let's start with Montana.
That is correct.
Montana.
Montana's the 4th coldest state in the U.S., 44.5 degrees average temperature. All right, Skraby, that leaves a really obvious one for you. I I gave Tony first. But he didn't take it, so you can.
I don't know that these are that obvious to any of us.
All right,
Chris.
Well, I think one is obvious.
Alaska,
I think. Thought Alaska was pretty obvious. 27.8 degrees average temperature in Alaska. 16 degrees colder than any other state. Tony's up.
Washington, the state.
State of Washington is on the list at 48.4. So Tony takes a 2-1 lead. Skraby, give me a cold state.
Maine.
Tony, you're up 2-2.
How about Idaho?
Idaho's pretty cold. Cold enough at 45.5. Seventh coldest in the U.S.
Well, it's my favorite state to say. Minnesota.
Yeah, that was kind of obvious. Same as Idaho. Minnesota, 45.5, Tony.
How about North Dakota?
North Dakota, there you go. You found it, number. Hey, Anthony hung in there. That he said, look, it took a while for us to get to Anthony, and he said he was about to, kind of give up the chase.
Yeah.
But he hung in, and we went to him, and he came up with the answer. Giants all-time leader in victories. A little bit of a tricky question because people probably thought San Francisco Giants. Don't forget the Giants go all the way back to the New York Giants, and way back when Christy Mathewson is the all-time Giants victory leader, 372. So Anthony came through. He's going to see the Giants, Padres Tuesday. We got the Rays and the Padres coming up tonight, and we got this interview that you're going to enjoy, our Friar Friday visit with Jose Iglesias. And our Friar Friday interview, indeed, Jose Iglesias, the Padres do everything, infielder, outfielder, and man, what a pickup he has been for this ball club in early this season. Jose, welcome to San Diego. If you haven't already been welcomed, and talk about how this has been working out for you so far.
Thank you for having me, guys. No, it's been an incredible experience. Contribute to this great team that we had. It's a privilege to be up there with the boys and just help this team, accomplish something that we have in mind, and that's going all the way down.
Jose, we marvel often at your glove work, man. It's like you're like a magician out there when it comes to the glove. Has that always been a skill set that it has come naturally to you? Because it really does look like you wake up and you can do some of the things with the glove that a lot of people can't.
Thank you, Dan, for the compliment. There is definitely a natural element to it, since I was a little kid, but also there is a lot of work behind it as well. In terms of repetition. When I was younger, I was taking, I remember, thousands of ground balls a day. So,
wow.
There's reputation, definitely. There's sacrifice and discipline behind the natural ability that any player at this level had to. Thank you for the compliment. So yeah, it's I don't want to say it's easy, but it's pretty organic for me to go up there and do my thing with the glove.
Jose Iglesias is our Friar Friday interview. Speaking of that, Jose, you made a play in Detroit. I think the second game of the series, but it was a pop-up into short right center field. You turned around and ran with your back to home plate. You caught the ball as if you were taking a walk in the park. I don't understand. The ball just dropped into your glove, which was next to your left hip. Did you have that all the way, or can you be honest with us and say there was any luck involved? It looked like the most amazing thing I've seen all year.
Thank you. That's I've done that play. I've done that play before, and I did not want to turn my back into the plate, but the ball beat me, and I was like, "This is my only shot." So I turned around and just make a basket play. In those type of plays, is you got to stay calm, right? You have two big boys heading to you. You have center field to come to the left and right field coming to the right. Gonzalez, a big boy, so I got lucky he didn't hit me. But in those type of play, you got to stay calm, right? You got to stay under control. Always keep the ball in front of you when you turn your back to the play. That's the secret, and just stay calm. And it's harder than what it sounds like, but you got to be calm in those plays.
Jose Iglesias joins us here on Gwynn and Chris Friar Friday. And Jose, I've watched your whole career, and it seems like you've gotten better offensively as you've gotten older. What do you attribute that to? Because in a day and age where it seems like they're moving the older guys out of the game, you found a way to seemingly get better offensively as you've played more baseball.
Well, I think that with age, you understand a lot of aspects, not just about the game, but about yourself as well. And that happens for every regular human being there is in this planet. I think with age, you start realizing who you are, who you try to be, what your goal is going to look like, how do you want to accomplish it. And for me, it's been, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm not trying to be someone else. This is who I am, and I'm going to maximize my ability to do who I am, and I'm gonna enjoy it that way. So, and I think it's paying off. The last 5 years and 5, 6, 7 years, and in the league, it's been paying off. So I'm not trying to be someone else and try to, be someone that I'm not. I stick with my game, and I try to maximize my ability to put the ball in play, not strike out, and good things happen. I'm a big believer in put the ball in play. And there's this in last year in the playoffs. That's the teams that make things happen. When you put the ball in play, it's tough to make plays, right? Especially when you have that pressure of 40,000 people screaming at you, and it's just there is no hits, there is no win if you don't hit the ball forward. So for me, hit the ball forward, and it's the secret. So definitely experience, right? I already have quite a few at bats in the league, and that definitely helps. Some advisors, it's a grinding thing. It's an adjustment made on a daily basis. The game has changed analytic wise, information wise, so you got to adjust to it. And I think I was a player who came up with the I don't want to say old school, but with the different mindset of hitting and a different mindset of the game. And in order for me to stay in today's game, I have to adjust. And then that's what I've been doing in the last few years since 2015 is just continue to learn, continue to, be open for the change. And I think, not losing my DNA as a hitter, but definitely collecting information that there's value and translate that to a winning ball, to a winning team, to a winning game every night.
I don't understand how Jose Iglesias was still available for the Padres to get him, honestly, in the free agent process. I don't. I mean, you were so great last year for the Mets. Everybody saw it. You were the heartbeat of the entire team. You hit 337. You came up with OMG. You took the whole Big Apple by storm. And now we've got you. We're lucky to have you in San Diego. I have to ask you, do you have anything in mind along the lines of OMG for San Diego? Is your mind thinking about that yet?
Listen, we're going to have fun. We had a good team. That's the secret. We got to have fun. We got to stay healthy. At this level, the team who has fun and the team who stay connect and communicate and stay healthy, those are the ones that are going all the way down because the talent is there. So for sure, we're going to have fun here. We're going to take it one day at a time. We're going to maximize our ability as a team, but also we're going to stay together. We're going to have fun with the fan and the city and for the game of baseball. That's the goal. You gotta treat it one day at a time. So good things coming in the music aspect as well. When the time is right, you're gonna hear about it, and then we're gonna have fun to it too. Back to the Padres, me being available to come back here. I think to come here, it's meant to be. Sometimes things are totally out of your control, and that was one of them for me. I was kind of shocked as well, how they not came back. But you know what? Everything happened for a reason, and I couldn't be happier. To coming here to San Diego, the team that we faced last year, and it was a great contender for us last year. And we played big games last year against the Padres. And, it's different to be in the home side. I love to be in this side of the field, playing with this great team and great players that we had. I'm extremely happy to be available for the Padres. It took a little longer than I was expecting, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm here, and I'm extremely happy, and it feels like home.
I got to ask, maybe it was 5 or 6 years ago, I hosted a talent show for the American Lung Association. And yourself, Kenley Jansen, ended up being the 2 finalists. He played a ballad on the piano. You performed a song. Now, this is long before OMG happened. You ended up winning this. you ended up winning this talent show.
Oh, sorry about it, T.
at that point,
I remember. I think that was 2021.
I think it was a year after the COVID season. Yeah, I think it was 21.
It was 21.
At that point,
I was with the Angels.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. At that point, did you know that music obviously was something that was deep in your soul? Did you know that it would transpire into being an OMG, a top Billboard song? I mean, was that something that was always in you?
You never know what life is gonna bring. I mean, we here. We got to take it one day at a time, right? We not even know if we're gonna be alive tomorrow. We hope we are, but so with time and age, you gotta take it just 1 minute, 1 second, one day at a time. Don't take anything for granted. Maximize, just the fact that you're alive. And I didn't know. I always been in love with music. But publicly, like I was like at some point in my career, I was like, you know what, I gotta be who I am.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, I'm gonna respect the game. I'm gonna do everything right on, between the white lines, and I'm gonna, do everything with respect and everything. But I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna, there's players that have a lot of dreams in their head and their book, and they're just being afraid of for that first step to break the barriers and stuff like that. And I'm glad I was that guy. Who sings on the baseball field, and then when you see the fan base and you see your teammates, looking at you in that particular way, beyond a baseball field, it's quite a blessing. It's quite a humbling. They're looking at you not just as a good player, but also as an artist. It's kind of cool. I can see some of the players feel proud about it, and that's the whole thing about it. Like, I'm extremely humbly. I'm extremely happy, to contribute to that aspect for the game, and it's a dream come true. It is. I was nervous at the beginning. I was like, how baseball's gonna take it? It's a very thin line. You know what I'm saying? I hope they don't misunderstand that I love music, and the music lives in all of us.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this is a game. It's our job, but this is just a game, and we have fans who want to have fun, and like I say, we do everything with respect. We do everything with nothing that can affect your daily routine, to prepare to win a big league game. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have fun. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep it loose. It's a long season, boys. It's a long season, and then we gotta stay happy. We gotta stay happy. We gotta stay alive, and that's music. Music is life, and keep a lot of people connected.
There he is, Jose Iglesias. I'm telling you what a guy he is, man. I was fun. Love him. And he'll be in the 6th spot tonight in the lineup. Padres and Rays. Sam Levitt's got the pregame coming up shortly. Skraby, you're on point today.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Halftime,
You too.
Celtics 59, Magic 49. NFL draft, now 19 picks into the second round. Still no sign of Shedeur Sanders. That is getting a little crazy at this point, Skrabe, I must admit.
I'm going to be watching this weekend.
Yes, when will he finally get drafted? Hopefully by the end of the night tonight. Got 3 more rounds to go tonight, or 2 more. Anyway, we're back Monday. Enjoy the weekend. Ta-ta.
Bye.
Bye.